Okay, there you go.
Good evening, everyone. We will be officially kicking off this finance meeting. Councilmember Gully is crossing the 112th Street Bridge. And since this is one of our many important meetings throughout the year, we'll just give Councilmember Gully a few minutes to arrive. He should be here momentarily. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be with you in a few minutes.
I felt like you should be saying the British are coming. The British are coming. He's over the river and through the woods or over the bridge, or I don't know.
Yes, and you know, the Rev War obviously traveled up the Hudson, so Councilmember Gully might have been part of that movement. Monica, I'm trying to see what the sticker is behind your on your refrigerator. Yeah.
Well, it's my office, and it says, "Welcome to downtown Troy. No loitering, no loud music, surveillance cameras in use. Violators will be fined and ticketed."
Oh, geez, where's that from?
Very welcoming.
I think it was Chamberlain's filing cabinet, so it's something from one of his many decades of doing something. Pick an administration that might have done that. I don't know.
No comment.
No loitering and no loud music. Guess downtown, maybe that was part of our problem back then.
No loud music, geez.
Yeah.
That would cut me out right away.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
no
both of those cabinets were Chamberlain, so that's why all the stickers and all that other good stuff is on them.
Got it.
He's singing on Fifth Ave. We could develop a whole Jim Gully is on his way routine. Dashing through North Troy.
Speaking of musical numbers, anybody follow Proctor's on social media? If you follow Proctor's on social media, go to their thing. They're coming back. They're bringing all their shows back. And they did a whole musical thing, and it's like, hello. And it's like all of their staff are singing, and they're opening the doors and greeting people back. It is actually really cute. If you get a chance to look at it, look at it. It's pretty sweet.
Pretty cool. I will take a look at that. Sometimes they come up on my feed, sometimes not. But lately I have not been on Facebook as much as normal.
I think there's need to be one new resolution in for 2022 that Jim Gully will not be late. Do I hear a second?
Like, the Senate, they used to, you know, continuously be late for conference. So when Senator Bruno became majority leader, he began to charge members so many dollars a minute, and it went into a fund. And needless to say, members all of a sudden surprisingly started being on time. All right. It sounds like he's close, correct, Kim? Okay, we'll slowly get our finance meeting rolling. We have been waiting for Councilmember Gully, who is stuck in traffic. But we're going to get the council meeting rolling out of respect for our folks who are waiting to speak at the public forum. And so I'd like to officially open the finance meeting, and this finance meeting is particularly to focus on the budget. So we have a special meeting following our finance meeting tonight. And I will open it up. And how about Councilmember Zaluski lead us in the pledge? Have I called on you lately?
Yeah, I feel like I get an inordinate number of leads, but that's fine. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. I will try not to call on you for the rest of the year.
Oh, no, I love talking.
Okay, roll call. Councilmember Gully's on his way. Councilmember Ashley McPherson.
Here, and Councilman Gully is at his house and he's signing on shortly.
Perfect. Councilmember Steele.
Present.
Excellent. Councilmember Cummings.
Present.
Hello, Councilmember Zaluski.
Here.
Hello, Councilmember McDermott.
I'm here.
Hi, Councilmember, and Council President Mantello's here. 6 present, 1 on his way. So I want to open it up and just welcome folks. This is a long and winding road to tonight. And, you know, I first want to kick it off just saying, you know, thank you to the council members. All council members have been present at all council meetings, despite not being on that particular committee. I want to thank the mayor because obviously he and his administration, you know, worked hard. And even if we all don't see eye to eye, that's how budgets work. And I want to thank the deputy mayor, the comptroller. Kudos to Andy. You still have quite a bit of work to do tonight, but we want to thank you for all the work you put into it. We're also joined by Rick Morrissey, the Corp Counsel, and I really want to thank the public for weighing in, whether it be at public forums or contacting us directly. So I do want to thank folks out there because I have been contacted by different folks regarding various proposals. So yes, many hours have been put into this budget through the administration, through the council, through our various caucuses. I know our minority caucus actually spent probably a good 10 hours over the last weekend. And I know that the majority spent some time over the last couple of days. Saying all of that, here we are here tonight. We have a number of amendments in front of us. And I want to preface this with the minorities proposal, because in front of us, I did want to just alert Andy. We do have 2 major changes that we would like to make to the sheet, which we will make officially on the floor. But I do just want to alert you out of, you know, full public disclosure. The first one is the diversity, equality, and inclusion proposed position that was originally proposed in the mayor's office. We have proposed to place it in personnel, make it a civil service position, and we did reduce the amount slightly. Long story short, we're giving everyone a heads up. We do still support reducing the salary slightly, making it a civil service position, but we did hear through the public forum and feel it should be in the mayor's office. We still feel it should be civil service, and we can talk about that on the floor, but we wanted to give you a heads up on that. So Andy, we would change that back to the mayor's office, our proposal, and we'll do it officially. I just want to preface it out of respect for Andy. We need to go slow tonight, housekeeping, because Andy is going to make whatever is passed. He's going to do it live, plug it in the budget, and then obviously have the final budget for the vote tonight. The second major initiative, and we did hear the deputy mayor, so we do listen. In parks, we did not realize the elimination of the recreation attendant is an existing position, stating that we still propose to eliminate one of the laborers, but we will take out the elimination of the recreation assistant. We'll leave that in because we did state in our overall proposal, obviously, to maximize efficiency in the department, minimize the hirings, the proposed hirings, fill vacancies. And that is a particular position. It's not filled. So obviously we recommend filling it, but we do not support eliminating that position. So those two major ones, we'll do it officially on the floor, but we wanted to give a heads up and let the council know and the administration. Additionally, over the weekend, out of many conversations, discussions, the minority felt very strong, and we actually agreed with the majority that reassessment needs to happen every 5-6 years. However, due to the pandemic, the minority felt very, very strongly, and in our proposals proposed to pause the citywide reassessment, which next year is a savings of $125K. Right off Jump Street, I just want to say, full disclosure, the majority, I'll let you guys talk about that when we get to you, but the mayor did contact me over the weekend. We had a very frank and full discussion on this issue. And I told the mayor, it's important that we try to get to that 100% valuation. It's important, obviously, for all of our tax base. However, now is not the time to do that. And while the mayor doesn't fully agree with me, he met halfway with us, and the mayor, the administration has withdrawn the citywide reassessment. So we also, the minority, has discussed, and next year folks out there know that some new folks are coming on board, and we have promised to look at the 2023 budget regarding that issue. And then also, full disclosure, the firefighters and the staffing shortage, the ambulance issues that we're seeing right now, another major issue that all of us agree on, and that obviously is to use ARP funds, short-term basis, OT, fourth ambulance, and long-term look at the full staffing issue, the workforce issue for the fire department, and most importantly, the ambulance issue. And then lastly, the minority, we did propose a quality of life task force that would be with all existing staff. And we also propose to utilize our savings toward reducing the proposed property tax hike. So saying over all of that, that's just a quick, very, very quick overview. And like I said, I just want to thank everyone. I just know that all of our hearts are in the right place. How we get there, we might disagree, et cetera, but at the end of the day, we're all working for the taxpayers. So saying that, Councilmember Gully has joined us. And Councilmember Gully, we have 7 present. And I know we have a couple of people who are waiting to speak at the public forum. So without further ado, we'll hit the public forum. And I believe first on the list, Mara, is Robert Blackman, sorry.
Yeah, we have 3 people signed up, Bob Blackman, Irene Soriento, and Renee Powell, and I'm going to add them in that order. So Bob will be up first.
Perfect, thank you. Hi, Bob. Oops. Mara, is he joining?
Anasha, can you try moving him over? It doesn't seem to be responding to my.
It's not allowing me to promote him either. I can allow him to talk, maybe.
Oh, there he comes. All right.
Here he comes.
How about
Hello
now?
there, Bob. Hi there.
Okay, should I sing?
Yes, please. We welcome singing.
I
You
think
probably
we,
have a much better voice than me.
I think we probably should stay away from singing. Well, good evening to all of you. You heard from me last week, and I'm here once again on behalf of the Justice Center of Rensselaer County to support Mayor Madden's proposal to hire a Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, provided a bona fide national search is conducted for that position. And we feel that that little caveat is very important. There's probably no reason for me to repeat the comments of last week. I will say that this is an opportunity for you to make an important statement about racial justice. We're in the midst of police reform. We have a city workforce that has very little diversity. And we have a mayor who apparently now wants to address these issues in a serious way. And we're pleased about that. I will say that we thought the PRRC report, and I think I've said this before, was a bit weak in that it did not make a strong statement about systemic racism. But the mayor, to his credit, now seems to be proposing to address that weakness. So we say, let's make Troy a leader. Let's do the right thing and fund the proposed position. As to the salary, I heard the comments that may be a bit negative to this, but as to the salary, we're all familiar with the saying, you get what you pay for. So by all means, fund the position at the $65,000 request. Believe me, I've done a lot of hiring of professional people, and it will take that level of funding to compete in the national market for the kind of person that most of us are looking for. Finally, let me say that last night I saw the minorities release about what I called an alternate budget proposal. But frankly, it seems to me that it might be more of a political statement than a serious budget proposal. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way it struck me. So the Justice Center's position continues to be in support of the mayor's proposal. Let's do the right thing and go ahead and get it done. Thank you so much.
We seem to have lost the council president, but thanks, Bob, and I'll put you back in the audience for now.
Not here.
Yeah, I don't know. She got somehow disconnected. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, well, in her absence then, Bob, thank you. And we'll move to our next speaker, unless we think that we should wait for Carmela to come back so she can hear what people have to say.
Council Pro Tem,
I
Yes.
think we should give it a second.
I would ask that we give it a second as we would for any member of the council. We know she was here.
Can one of you
Yes, of course
text
you
her
can.
and see what's happening? If everything's okay?
I'm trying now. Okay, she's saying she got kicked out of the Zoom. So let's give her the courtesy of rejoining.
Laura, can you resend the link to her?
Yep, I'll resend right now.
Thank you.
Okay, here she is.
Hi, all. So I have no clue what's going on, but I got kicked off. So now I have to use my iPhone. So I apologize. Where are we?
Bob Blackman just finished speaking, and we decided to pause before bringing Irene in so that you could rejoin.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, I'm promoting Irene.
Hello.
Hi, Irene. Thanks for joining us. You're with
Thank you.
the finance. Hi. You're with
Hi.
we can hear you. You're with the finance meeting. Take it away, please.
Thank you so much, Council President, for letting me speak tonight. Basically, I would just like to speak on the mayor's proposed budget. At this time, I honestly, as a taxpayer, I do not recommend creating all these additional positions until the vacant positions are at least filled, for one. Also, due to this pandemic, I don't believe that this is the time for it, as many residents are still unemployed. They're struggling. They can barely keep up with paying their rent or their taxes. And with the creation of these positions, it's obviously driving up the cost in our tax increase and our garbage increase. I do recommend taking a pause on this and to look more into how we can lower the garbage fees, which was initially meant to be temporary. And now all of a sudden they're just going up and up. And I understand you are not in support of it. And I thank you for that. Because it was initially part of our taxes, and then that did get changed. But honestly, this is not the right time. And now there's a new variant that, there's talk about that we don't even know, the impact that it's going to have on us. And I just think it's very important that we just pump the brakes on this and really look into, okay, what is it that we can do to help with the taxpayers, help with those that are unemployed, rather than, creating all these positions. And look, I am all for job creation, but we have to do it in we have to have a balance here. And right now, I don't believe that it's appropriate to create all of these positions all at once. For one, I think, I mean, especially when, when we're all going to be taking a hit on it once again. So I do ask, please look into amending the mayor's proposed budget and look for what is in the best interest for the taxpayers. So thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Okay, and next, and certainly not last, it is Renee Powell. So we will upload Renee, and I'll await that.
Okay. Good
Hi,
evening,
Renee.
everyone. Hello.
Good evening. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity. And I will be brief. I will try to be brief. And I'm not going to repeat everything that I said the other night, but it is clear that at the last hearing that I spoke at, there was a person who came on after me, and I'm not sure if that was after the meeting. And in listening to the comments, it led me to be even more in favor of us having this position of a diversity, equity, and inclusion director. Some of the comments were, for lack of a better word, short-sighted. I'll put it that way. Just because you have a melting pot in your house does not mean that you understand the complexity of what people are experiencing in the community. All situations are different. I'm looking at what's happening with Troy in the news, with the funds that are coming in. To me, that means you have people of all backgrounds coming in. You want to create an environment that is accepting and inclusive. You want them to stay. You want them to become a part of that tax base. So this position of diversity, equity, and inclusion is very important. As Bob said earlier, you pretty much get what you pay for. We want to make sure that we get a quality person who comes in and makes things better and not worse. So I am encouraging that you fund this position at the initial proposed rate of $65K. But if you can find more money, that would be perfect, because we want to get a good person to come in and bring this together. I listened to what Carmela said earlier about some of the things that were in the budget, and you're going to do a quality of life project. Having that diversity and equity inclusion person involved in something like that, that would be part of that type of activity. So all of that goes hand in hand. I just want to say that I commend you all for being forward thinking and putting this on the table. I just encourage you to reconsider the amount that you want to pay. I know, things are tight. And I also want to encourage you not to make this a civil service position, but to leave it with the mayor. You want to be able to not tie the individual's hands to do something that's phenomenal. We're talking about making some major, not changes, but connections within the community. And relationships will change, mindsets will change, thought processes will change. And you want to make sure that that person has that ability to do the job that's needed to make the change, make Troy the great city that it is, put it, high on the map as being a forward-thinking place, because we have some great people that are coming in. We have some phenomenal projects coming into Troy, and we need to have the right spirit here in the city of Troy. And I think the director of that position will be able to help the city get there. I thank you for your time and have a great evening.
Renee, thank you so, so much. Thank you for joining us, and we really appreciate your comments. Thank you.
I just want to warn everybody, Zoom is acting very strange. Andy just got booted to attendee, and then I couldn't get him to promote back to panelist, so he had to log off and log back in. So I just want to warn you all. I don't know what's I'm not touching anything, so I don't know what's happening. But just, I don't know, if you get booted, just try logging out and logging back in again. I don't know what's happening. It's like the worst possible meeting for Zoom to act up, but.
It really is, and I'm kind of hampered here with the iPhone only. So I am very quickly, if you can wait 2 seconds, I'm going to log out real quick and then log back in. So I'll be right back. Thank you.
Maura, are we being hacked?
I don't know, but I wanted this night to get over before midnight. So if this is what's going to happen all night, it's going to be really, really bad. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody keep your fingers crossed and keep your hands away from the keyboard. If you don't need to touch anything, don't touch anything.
I am back on the laptop. I was kicked off also earlier, obviously, and just the iPhone, it's very difficult. I can't see all of you at once. So now, even though the picture's better on my iPhone, I do like my picture better, but anyway, the coloring is definitely much better on the iPhone. Okay, without further ado, so we want to thank all the folks that called in from the public. As I said earlier, housekeeping, Andy, you're good to go. We're going to go through these. And when I say slowly, we don't necessarily have to talk slow, but probably after we vote, we just have to wait a couple minutes for Andy to plug in those numbers. So we'll go in order. And as mentioned earlier, you know, since ours are first, our overall priority was really to challenge our departments to fill vacant positions, to minimize the hiring of positions. And what we have said, the minority, because the three of us will be here next year with one other council member and we'll be in the majority, we'd like to see a little more detailed, specific plans, a little more proactiveness, and a little more synergy in the departments. We're not going to pick on any department per se, but I think a couple of the departments were a little light during the budget meetings, where we felt they asked for new staff, but had maybe a vacancy or two and didn't really have like an overall bigger picture plan. We'd like to see more of a detailed, bigger picture plan. And this is no slight at all to our workforce. We feel that we have incredible folks and they're really working hard, but at the same time, we just feel a little more coordination, synergy, and just a little more not looking into that vacuum mentality and really looking outside the box. So we are open to looking at some of the positions they did request if we did take it out mid-year, and potentially if they do have a plan, we'll review that request if we do feel that they've made some progress in their department. So saying that overall, the quality of life task force, as we mentioned earlier, it would be existing staff, targeted sweeps, you know, real problematic neighborhoods that are seeing illegal garbage or illegal dumping, maybe definitely more education. This is not just about enforcement, it's to weed out the bad seeds, weed out the bad apples, reward the folks who are really working hard to make their property look as a better place in their neighborhood. And we all know that that one building can be a blight for 2 blocks. So if we can weed out the bad seeds and really target through our enhanced community police officer, DPW, litter patrol, legal, DPW, and whatever else staff is necessary. That's one of our huge priorities. As we mentioned earlier, the reassessment, we thank the mayor for that. And then the fire department, we did talk about that. And I think that's where we are. I think our savings, our proposed savings overall was in the mid $600,000 range. Initially, we started at 900. However, the 250 for the reassessment, we had to take out 125 because 125 is in this year's budget and is being rolled over to 2022. However, it is 2021 money. So saying all of that, I am getting text from my caucus to say, let's go. So we'll get it rolling. On full disclosure here, we'll get it rolling. And the first one on the list for the minority is what we've heard tonight through the public forum. And as mentioned, we did hear about.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you didn't introduce the resolution and have a motion and a second and all that?
Okay, yeah, I know that, Mara. I was first prefacing that we did, we are going to propose to change this from the personnel office to the mayor's office. So saying that,
Okay.
we have amendment number 1, I guess we would call it. And amendment number 1 is introduced, I'll say by me. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. On the discussion, as mentioned, we did propose to reduce the salary lightly. We are not taking, or slightly, I should say, we are not taking this position lightly, and we do hear loud and clear. But what we heard more, this was going to be more of an in-house diversity, equality, and inclusion director. And saying that we did move it from personnel to the mayor's office. I know that Councilmember Ash McPherson may want to add her feelings regarding the civil service. And then if there's no further discussion by anyone, we can vote.
Thank
Council
you.
President.
Yep, Councilmember Ash McPherson, and then Councilmembers.
Sorry, I just want to say, I still feel it should be a civil service because this is a very important position. My biggest concern was that, it's with the mayor, and the mayor is going to be leaving in 2 years, and a new administration is going to be coming in unless he decides he's going to try to run again. And then a new mayor is going to be coming in. And I just want to make sure that this person is not going to be moved around. I'd like to see that this, like I said, it's a very important position. It's something we need to have done. And I'm excited for it, but I'm just concerned about it being an appointment of the mayor's. So that's where I stand. Thank you. Not just this mayor, but any mayor coming in is the whole thing too. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Zaluski.
Thank you. I'll comment briefly on, well, first of all, I'll just give you our overall strategy on this. Our caucus feels that these positions are warranted, first of all, and you're keeping this in, so this is not even a debate for this particular position. But we feel we want to support the administration in getting the city back up to staffing levels that allow the city to deliver services the way that citizens expect them to be delivered. So this is just again a commentary on overall what we're doing. We're trying to support the administration to the greatest extent possible to get these positions up and running, which is why you saw our amendments are more along the lines of deferring the hiring date of positions and not full elimination. But we'll talk about them, each as we go along. I'm sure I'll try and keep it as quick as possible. On this particular position, I feel strongly that we should support the administration exactly as they've defined this. This is a critical position as both the administration and as the public have mentioned to us. This is a result of the PRRC that we served on. I'm looking at you, Council President. You know, we served on this committee, and we heard this loud and clear that this is something important for the city, that we do need a director of diversity, equity, and equality and inclusion. Sorry, I'm getting all the buzzwords, but I think the salary itself, I did a little bit of research on this position. I just, was browsing around the web, and this starting salary is low. It is low for this type of position. So first of all, I'm hoping that we can actually get someone qualified to serve at this level. Where the mayor seems confident that he'll be able to find someone, but I don't support cutting this particular salary down at all. So I want to support the administration fully on this position. Thank you.
Okay, and further discussion, Councilmember Steele.
Council President, just a point of order. I'm not sure we actually introduced the resolution for discussion to allow amendments. Isn't that necessary?
I don't, Mara hold on one second.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. If you didn't introduce the
Oh, I
resolution.
apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, I wasn't clear if you were
Yep.
starting with ordinance 101 at first. And so,
Now I understand what you're saying. Okay, so let's
thank you.
first.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. No problem. Thank you, Councilmember Steele, and bear with me. All right. So okay, so obviously,
It's resolution 99, I believe.
no, that's actually adopting, I guess it's under resolution 99.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so resolution 99, resolution adopting the mayor's recommended budget for the city of Troy for fiscal year 2022, or adopting an amended budget for the city of Troy for fiscal year 2022. That is it. Councilmember Zaluski, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I so move.
Thank you. Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Now on the discussion, number one, we're knee deep into amendment number one, and is there further discussion? Okay, we're going to take slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
No.
This is our resolution or our amendment, Councilmember Gully.
So this is accepting the mayor's proposal as it was proposed.
No, this is on amendment one. Sorry. So it's not on the overall resolution. This is an amendment to the mayor's budget. So it's amendment one if you look at number one on the sheet.
Yes.
Okay. It's confusing. I apologize. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
Councilmember Ashley McPherson. You're on mute.
On the amendment, yes.
Councilmember Steele.
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski.
No.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
And Council President Mantello, I just really want to make it clear. I support this position wholeheartedly. However, after I compared, and I did also compare council members Zaluski, but one of the things I found, the private sector definitely pays much more than the public sector. And I did find a huge disparity between the two. Other municipalities of our size, we were in that like 40, 50, maybe 55 range. So that's why we decided to take it down slightly. So saying that, I vote aye. The amendment goes down 4-3. So amendment one has failed. We'll hit Amendment 2 real quick. Amendment 2 is proposing the elimination of the new senior account clerk. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully, in purchasing. So I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, on the discussion. I think we talked about this extensively last week. Okay, we'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
Just to explain my vote, I think obviously there's a tremendous number of federal grants and a tremendous amount of work needing to be done in purchasing in the next few years. Beyond that, I think one of the departments that is most pushed thin, but doesn't have any new hires is Andy's. And he did state that this department would take some load off, this position would take some load off of his department as well. So I think that's also critically important. So no.
Councilmember Zalewski.
Same reasoning that Councilman Cummings has, and I vote no.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
And Council President Mantello. I just want to say overall, I truly believe that every department head and supervisor could justify any position. And as somebody who came in fresh to an agency of 600 people, by the time I left, people retired. We were down to maybe 450, have more temporary employees, which we'll talk about later on when we get to some of the temporary personnel. But saying that, I truly believe fill vacancies, challenge some of the departments, and no slighting to Andy. I know that you're working very, very hard. But saying that, I vote aye. So motion, the amendment fails 4-3. Amendment number 3, the assessor. This is the elimination of another new position, assessment clerk. The majority, myself, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully proposed to eliminate, and the reassessment has been put on pause also. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, on the discussion. Okay, slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings,
No.
Councilmember Zalewski,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. The amendment number 3 fails 4-3. We'll move along to amendment number 4, the consultant services that has been withdrawn. We are unified through the administration, majority, minority, to pause that as discussed many times tonight. Amendment number 5, Corporation Counsel, the majority. There were 2 deputy corporation counsels proposed. In addition, the outside consultant, our justification for this, the outside consultants have gone up tremendously. Just last week, we added another $250 or $200 and some odd $1,000 to the outside consultant. We're hitting almost $600 in outside consulting. However, we do recognize that the Corporation Counsel, his office is extremely busy. We did keep one of the deputies. So our proposal is to eliminate just one of the new deputy corp counsels. Council President Mantello, I'll make a motion. Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully, our co-sponsors. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. On the discussion, Andy. Am I going too fast?
No, you're not. Are you going to vote on number before to get the $125,000
Yeah,
out of
we'll
the
go
budget?
back to that.
Okay.
We actually withdrew, but I think we do have to vote to amend the budget. So you're right, we'll go back to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So the elimination, Councilmember Ash McPherson, I believe seconded. Discussion. Okay, we'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings,
No.
Councilmember Zaluski,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. The amendment fails 4-3. We'll go back to Amendment 4. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. Discussion. I think we talked about a lot. It's open. Okay, slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
Yes.
Councilmember Cummings.
This is number 4?
Correct.
Yes.
Councilmember Zaluski,
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott,
Yes.
Council President Mantello, aye. The motion carry, or I should say the amendment is passed 7-0 with the also the administration mayor support. Amendment number 6A, personnel. Myself, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully. We felt the health and safety coordinator was recently hired, a position that was put in for the 2021 budget, recently hired over the past month and a half. There is a proposal to now add another position of personnel technician. We're certainly open in June or July after seeing what the health and safety coordinator produces to look at this position, but right now we are proposing to eliminate. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, a little bit of a tie. Councilmember Gully, I think slightly ahead. Discussion. We'll do slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. Amendment 6A fails 4-3. Amendment 6B, personnel. This is Councilmember Zaluski, Councilmember McDermott, Councilmember Cummings. Is there a motion?
Can any of us motion on that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Yep. Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott on the discussion.
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Zaluski.
So this is again, following the principle that I discussed earlier, which is that we feel that we need to support the administration in the addition of this position, that the personnel tech is important to have. But by deferring it for 3 months, we gain a little bit of salary savings. That also will allow the next council to take a look at the position, once it gets started and, make your own determinations about it. But we think it should stay in the budget. It's like I said, not huge savings, but every little bit counts here.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. We have a motion. We have a second. Further discussion, questions? We'll do slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
No.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Council President, I'm just going to explain why I'm going
Sure.
to, my vote on this is I understand the processing, but just for 3 months isn't really going to be a much savings It's only going to help for the budget this year, but it's not going to help going further and looking into evaluating a real plan and a process. So I'm going to vote no.
Okay, Councilmember Cummings.
Councilmember Steele.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Councilmember Steele. Sorry,
No,
thanks. Councilmember Cummings,
Yes.
Councilmember McDermott.
No, me.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Zalusky.
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott.
yes,
Council President Mantello, no. The motion fails. So the personnel technician is in there full-time. All right, moving along, 6B, 7. We're moving to engineering. The council minority, myself, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully proposed to eliminate the traffic engineer. On this one, we know that we have engineering firms on call, outside engineering firms. This was one that we were willing to speak to the engineer, Aaron Vera, mid-year to see where we are in terms of costs with outside consultants and the on-call consultants and this particular position. So I'll make a motion and I will ask for a second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. And once again, our proposals are new hires, no existing. There is a motion, there is a second. Further discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote, slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Sorry, Council President, this is number 7.
correct.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
no,
Councilmember Cummings.
I think we're incredibly in immense need of this position. Incredibly lucky to have Aaron doing the work that he's doing on a part-time basis, but certainly need to free up some of his time and others. So no.
Councilmember Zalusky.
Yeah, to explain my vote, it's unfortunate that Councilman Cummings is always going to be going before me because he's taking my talking points. But yes, this is the engineering department really needs some staffing. Aaron is incredible at what he does, but they're really thin in that department, and engineering is a very important function for the city. We absolutely need a traffic engineer, so I will be supporting the traffic engineer and voting against this particular amendment. So my vote is no.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Zalusky. Councilmember McDermott.
no,
And Council President Mantello, as I mentioned earlier when I spoke overall, I certainly know the world of engineering as I worked for a firm for a few years, and I certainly respect all the work they do. Aaron has come in and done a super admirable job. Saying that though, with our outside consultants on call, and I really felt during that particular committee meeting, not a huge, strong justification for that position. So saying that I vote aye and the motion fails. So number 7, motion fails 4-3, the amendment. Moving along to Amendment 8. This is in the BIS department, the IT department. And this particular one, another new hire, a data communications analyst. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Ash McPherson, and Councilmember Gully are introducing. I'll make a motion. And is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. On the discussion, we'll take a slow roll.
Council President.
Yes, sorry, Councilmember Zalusky.
Yeah, Once again, this is this is a department that provides a critical function to the city. Technology is all around us, whether we recognize that or not. And this department is another very thin department, and they absolutely need some staffing. We're only going to be going more and more paperless, if I can say it that way. We're going to be using less and less paper, more electronic processes. We're talking about an electronic timekeeping system that's going to require, some staffing to support that, and many other initiatives that are either have been rolled out or are going to be rolled out for the city. And as an IT person myself, trust me, I know what it's like to try and get by with very few staff, and it's not easy. The demands put on IT are huge. So I will not support eliminating this position. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. Councilmember McDermott.
No, we're not. We didn't start voting yet. That was just me talking. That was just
He
discussion.
just wanted to get ahead of me this
Oh
time.
my gosh. Okay, thank you. Further discussion. Okay, we'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Steele.
To explain my vote,
Thank you.
I certainly agree with the comments of Councilman Zaluski. And I think, too, the pandemic has certainly shown us our reliance on IT. And since we're not apparently out from under this thing, and may have to rely on more and more technology to do the things that we would rather do in person, I certainly think we need to invest in our workforce in the IT area, as well as many of the others that I'm supporting tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Councilmember Cummings.
Ken Zaluski stole everything I was going to say this time. So yes.
Councilmember.
No to the amendment. No to the amendment, to be clear.
Oh, I thought I had you there, Councilmember.
That was close. That was close.
Councilmember.
Crafty.
I got you. Councilmember Zaluski.
No.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
Council President Mantello, just explaining my vote once again, not slighting any department. We are hiring quite a bit of outside consultants for the 2022 proposed budget and ARP funds. I do believe with the outside consultants, their assistance, that this particular department, while every department can make a case for an employee or two, this particular department, I do believe, with the outside consultants and the outside help, and we would once again review this in 6-7 months, saying that I vote aye. So the amendment number 8 fails regarding the new proposed data communications analyst. The next one, number 9. This is a new position for senior parking enforcement officer. Council President Mantello, Councilmember McPherson, Councilmember Gully. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? Okay, we'll do slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
To explain my vote, since it seems that when we seem to talk now. In reality, I understand what we're looking at, but I know, Council President, you mentioned many times when you oversaw 600 people. And I've oversaw warehouses that had 80 to 125 people. And we have a parking leader who oversees, I think, 4 or 6 people. And we pay him good money to do his job. I would rather spend that money on a couple of additional parking attendants that would be able to go out in different areas of the city at the same time. And double the education to the people who are in violation of our parking laws. I think that would be more of a benefit to the taxpayers. And I certainly think that it would be a smarter move to get better expansion and better coverage so we can stop a lot of the illicit parking in our city and also generate the additional revenues for that work and effort. And I think that 2 part-timers would be able to cover their pay. Plus, if they did their job properly, they were overseen by the management system properly. So I'm going to vote yes to eliminate the full-time position.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. Okay, the motion, or the amendment, I should say, number 9 fails 4-3. We will move along to 10A. Code enforcement, Council President Mantello, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully are introducing. In this particular department, I want to preface, there were 2 vacant positions, and I believe 1 who had just left. What we're proposing is to fill those vacant positions, and more importantly, the code enforcement department to come up with an overall plan, more strategic, proactive plan in terms of the department in 2022, a little more synergy with some of the other departments. We think our code enforcement officers are doing a very good job, but at the same time, we really felt that this department needed just a little more coordination, a little more strategy, and a little more proactiveness and just the synergy with other departments. Saying that, we propose to eliminate 2 new positions, the assistant code inspector, housing compliance clerk, and we will, as we will be in the majority next year, revisit that in 6 months after the acting director came to us and we were able to evaluate what they've accomplished over a 6-month period. So we just want to see a little more strategy and a little more overall plan for that particular department. We feel it's a little more reactive than we'd like to see. So I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. On the discussion?
Council President?
Yes, Councilmembers.
So on this amendment, this is 10A.
Yep.
It's including 2 positions in 1 amendment. I just wanted to ask the administration a question on this one. I don't support eliminating both positions. I could be persuaded to eliminate one of them. So I just want to understand of those 2 new positions, which one would be more important to have on staff? If you could balance between the 2 of them, which one is more critical to keep?
Mayor, do you want me to go? Okay. I mean, they're all equally important, obviously. I just found out today that the city of Albany has the same number of code inspectors that we do, and we're short. Like, I can't even imagine what they're dealing with over there. And just to note, the 2 positions that were vacant, one of them is, we were waiting for the tests to come back, the test scores to come back. So that was actually a civil service delay, not necessarily a hiring delay on our part in order to get those filled. I would say to get something jump started, one of the things that we do hear about from all of you, as well as from some of the code officers themselves and people in the department, is the vacant building registry, but also the landlord registry and all of those kinds of things. The housing compliance clerk, that is a function of that individual. So they would be able to help Eric Ferraro with the vacant building registry information. They'd be able to get the landlord registry back up to snuff, get it completely registered, get contact information for all of those investors and property owners that we have out there that have rental units. But then it would also be another person in the office that would help alleviate some of that and get the current inspectors more in the streets, and as the council president said, a little bit more proactive instead of being inside having to mail out their letters and stuff like that and try to work with the courts to get inspections and stuff done. So if I had to pick one, I would say start with the housing compliance clerk and then go from there. The other piece of that too is it takes about 6 months for us to train, to have New York State training done for a code officer. So if you delay hiring to, to June, that person's not going to be back out on the street until probably December, effectively writing violations. So they'll be trained, they'll go out and they'll learn it all on the side, but they won't be able to actively start writing their own violations until December. So they're all both important, but if I had to hire one sooner than later, I would bring in the housing compliance clerk at least to start do that. And if I know this council has also talked about the residential occupancy permit program, that position could also start getting that geared up and start taking the existing legislation that we have written already, update it to current practice and current law, and then be able to kind of get that going as well too. That would dovetail nicely with the landlord registration program as well.
Great, thank you for that description. So I am, I guess, so I'm not going to support this entire amendment, but what I am willing to put forth is the elimination of the assistant code inspector, but keeping the housing compliance clerk. I guess I'll need to offer an amendment to the amendment in order to do that, if that's how I want to proceed, unless the minority wants to reoffer their own amendment.
What I was going to suggest, I see Andy's hand up, is just splitting the two positions into two proposals, which will probably be easier for you, correct?
Yes, so what we could do is we could say the code inspector is 10A, the housing compliance clerk is 10B, the defer hiring of assistant code inspector would be 10C.
See, very good. So we'll read.
So can I just ask, can I ask a question then?
Absolutely.
To get ahead of this, does number 11 need to be, 11A is the labor, the MEO light, I do apologize, it says light, it should say light. The labor, the MEO light, and the temporary salaries is combined into 11A. Does that need to be split out over 3 parts as well? Because I'll split it now during discussion on 10.
I would like, yeah. I mean, we'll definitely talk about that when we get to it, but I would agree to split that out, Andy. I think it makes more sense.
And then I will also then split garbage to get way ahead of us. Garbage is 2 positions and temporary salaries as well. I'll split out 16 as well.
Yes. And so 11B will be 11D. And then
11D, we agree?
Agree. Okay.
And then we'll talk about garbage when we get to garbage.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll talk trash.
Talk trash. Okay, so now that we have split, we'll say 10A, 10B. So 10A now is the elimination of the assistant code inspector. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully. I'll make a motion for 10A, the elimination of the assistant code inspector. Is there a second?
And I will second that.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. Discussion. I'll do a slow roll. It helps Andy, gives them a little time. Councilmember Gully.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Steele.
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski.
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
Council President Mantello. Aye. 10A passes 4-3. So that amendment passes. 10B, the elimination of the housing compliance clerk. Everyone heard the conversation. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Gully. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Chair, I have a question, or Council President.
Can you first second so then we could discuss?
Second.
Okay, there's a second on the discussion. Councilmember Ash McPherson.
So this here is where Councilman Zaluski is amending to eliminate this position or keep this position.
Well, in 10C, he's deferring the hiring. Or no, now that we've eliminated the assistant code inspector, they're not proposing anything with the housing compliance.
Well, yeah, when we got to it, Council President, I was going to say we'll just withdraw the amendment.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not discussing 10B on here.
Yeah, we're on 10B, the new 10B, we renumbered. So now the elimination of the housing compliance clerk is 10B.
Okay,
And then 10B, which was Councilmember Zaluski's, is 10C.
okay. I think I got you.
Yep,
Council President,
yes, Councilmember.
there might be confusion among the members here on what happened with 10A, 10B, and 10C. So I guess I would request, I would ask if the council wants to revote just to make sure everyone's clear. I think there's some confusion.
Okay, so we can take a revote. We do have to vote for a revote. So you make a motion for a revote at 10A. I'll second the revote. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do slow roll. The 10A now is to eliminate the assistant code inspector position. A new
Correct.
position. We've discussed it fully. Further discussion, or is there I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Second, Councilmember Gully. We'll do slow roll. Councilmember.
Council
Gully.
President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I'm in a whole world of confusion here because I thought that the deputy mayor said that is a position she would want to keep.
No.
Okay, all right.
Councilmember.
I'm just, too much chatter. I'm A,
It's
B, C,
okay.
D.
It's okay.
All right,
So
let's try it
10A
again.
10A is, we have a motion, we have a second, we're taking a revote, the elimination of the assistant code inspector, new position, Councilmember Gully,
Yes,
Councilmember Ash McPherson. You're on mute.
Yes.
Call, Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
I think it's pretty plain that this employee would be very valuable to the department and to the city. So no.
Councilmember Zaluski.
To explain my vote, I just want to clarify that, and I know that there was question, this is how I want to say this. From my understanding of the conversation we just had, the housing compliance technician is the more important position to the administration. That's what I gather from that. So I want to be clear, that's the next amendment that we'll be voting on to eliminate, which I won't be supporting. But on this is me trying to, give a little bit here and find some bipartisanship and some common ground. And rather than adding the two positions to the department, we would just be adding the one. So I am supporting the elimination of the assistant code inspector. So I vote aye.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. Councilmember McDermott.
Council President, I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, this is very confusing. It's not you.
I will be voting yes.
Okay, it's okay. Believe me, there's a lot here. So, and I vote aye also. So the amendment 10A, which we did number because there's other amendments, so it does get confusing. So 10A amendment did pass to eliminate a new position of assistant code inspector by a vote of 5-2. We'll go to 10B. 10B is the new position for a housing compliance clerk. I will make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson on the discussion of the housing compliance clerk position. We'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
yes,
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No,
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zalusky,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
and Council President Mantello, aye. So that amendment fails, 5-2, or I'm sorry, 4-3. So 10B has failed. We are on 10C.
Council President, I motion that we remove that amendment.
Very good. There's a motion to remove the amendment. Is there a second? I'll make a sec, I'll second it, Councilmember Zalusky. All in favor or discussion on removing 10C, which was to defer the hiring of assistant code inspector. We just eliminated it. There is no reason to have this amendment. Is there further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm an aye, sorry.
Okay. Councilmember Steele, you're on mute.
oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm lost.
It's okay. So 10C was to defer.
Oh, right.
Councilmember Zalusky withdrew it, made a motion to withdraw. I seconded.
So we're all in favor?
If you are correct. Yep.
I thought withdrawals happened automatically, but yes,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought we could just withdraw it.
I honestly, we could, you made a motion, so I wanted to follow through. So yes, 10C is withdrawn. 11A. All right, we're moving. We're getting there. Streets. We are now 11A, 11B, and 11C. We split them. So 11A is the elimination of a new position of labor. We did keep another labor. 11B, elimination of MEO light. We also kept another position. And then 11C, we took those savings and we are starting a new proposal of a temporary salary pool. And I'll throw it over to Councilmember Gully, who is super passionate about this pool, this proposal, and really something a little more creative to utilize workforce and address workforce shortages. Councilmember Gully.
Council President, thank you. First, I'm going to let you know that I am going to really push on this after the first of the year because I think that it will help the city and help our workforce, which in turn will benefit our taxpayers. Second, there's no sense in going into a lot of conversation tonight. I've had conversation with some of the majority and my minority partners and the administration, and I think that we're all in agreement that this could be a benefit moving forward. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see it develop and hope we can do it in a very collaborated, bipartisan manner. So it's just a high success with everybody.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully, and we'll get right to it. So 11A. As mentioned, there were other positions proposed, which we did keep in, and there was a couple vacant. So 11A, I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion?
Council
Just to be clear,
President.
11A is just a laborer.
Correct.
Thanks.
Yep.
Council President,
Yes.
so I've communicated with Councilman Gully about this. I think this is an interesting proposal. I do want to get administration feedback on this. Does this give the administration more flexibility or less flexibility? I also would like to understand what the true salary savings are for this. I believe it looks like it'll end up being around 30,000 of savings, but I'd like that confirmed. Also, I don't understand how it's funny, we split the last one and now I don't know how you can split this because they kind of depend on each other. You're basically taking two positions, eliminating them, and then using part of that savings to fund a more flexible temp salary line, and then also realizing some additional savings. I think that's the overall synopsis of that. So first of all, I'd like to get some feedback from the administration on, mayor or deputy mayor, your view of how this allows you to, does this give you more flexibility or not, basically? And secondly, what the salary savings looks like if all three of these are passed. Thank you.
Andy, do you have the salary savings? Or do you need a moment?
Is the question, what is the total net savings of 11A, 11B, and 11C?
That is correct, yes.
It's a decrease to the budget of $28,129.
So as
Thank
far as the operational aspect of it, we proposed the addition of these. The supervisor of that department had actually wanted to bring on a crew, which is an MEO light and a laborer, to be able to establish a little bit more effective, essentially like a north and a south team, to be able to augment their operations. I think, and I appreciate the gesture of the temporary salaries. I think it certainly helps. I mean, I would rather have temporary work than nothing, I guess. So, I appreciate that. But I will, just to clarify and to correct, the only positions that were added to this budget were this laborer and this MEO light. There were no other positions offered up. There's nothing else that's hanging out there. The new positions that were proposed are the new positions that are being cut. Just to clarify that. I just want to make sure we're on the record that these are the only two new positions this department's asked for. So I am operationally, sure, it's better to have something than nothing. But I know that the team was looking to do something specific with the full-time employees, which they could certainly try to do with the part-time salaries or seasonal salaries, but they wouldn't get a year-long benefit out of it. And we certainly wouldn't get any assistance with snow plowing through that process too. So, because once the money's gone, the money's gone. And you have to remember, we still have those regulations around temporary help and part-time help of what their hours and timeframes look like too.
And on the clarification, a question, I pulled up my notes and we were told that there were, in the budget, there shows 3 vacancies for MEO Light. And then for laborers, I believe Tom had, or I apologize, we were told, and I'm looking at my notes, 2 vacancies for laborers.
Vacancies are different than new positions.
I get that. That's what I'm saying. Fill the vacancies first before putting new positions in. What we were told during the committee meetings was that they were having a tough time finding folks with CDLs, et cetera, for the MEO, and then filling some of the labor positions. So needless to say, what we figured, okay, you're having a tough time filling positions. We know there's a workforce shortage. It's everywhere, it's rampant. We know that that's happening. We have a number of vacant positions. Let's put the monies for next year, focus on filling the vacant positions at the same time. If we can't fill a couple of those vacant positions, what Councilmember Gully and us talked about was a temporary pool where we'd be able to utilize workforce as needed if we're unable to fill some of these full-time positions, because that's what we were told during the committee meetings. So we're just looking for a strategy to get more workforce with the workforce shortage and the vacancies that exist now. So, but okay, so.
Council President?
Yes, council members, Lucy,
So-
sorry. No,
I'm sorry, what?
no, go ahead, sorry.
So I also want to understand in terms of these 3 different pieces to this. It feels like this is a package, that it doesn't work. If you don't have some savings in these positions, you can't really you can't really fund the temp salaries line. So I mean, this is Councilman Goley, this is your proposal. I'm considering it seriously. And I'm asking you to provide a little more support for it, please.
Chair,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
Ken, the idea is that numerous corporations and companies in the world are moving into having temporary workers. It gives them a great opportunity to grow people into their industry. It gives them a chance to vet workers over the time they work for them in a temporary pace. We could look at things like, college kids that are looking to move out into the world, and even apprenticeships and different programs through that process that we could utilize. I just feel that it would help the city, because I consistently hear from management that there's short guys, or they can't fill a truck, or they can't get it done. They're missing people. And that's really the problem, is how do you fill the missing people? Well, you just can't hire 50 other full-time employees because that'll sink our boat in another 20 years again. So the reality is you have to think of what are the corporations doing? Why are they moving in that direction? Why are many companies in the world moving in that direction? It's time to look at that as a feasible piece of the puzzle for being able to give our crews full capacity every day, because you can't just do it with full-time employees. You have to have that. You have to have that stretch of labor that you can bring in to fill those gaps. And I would only suggest that maybe we start now, and within a few years, we could have a really adequate crew to fill many positions. Maybe it's not just laborers in the future. Maybe it is an MEO light. Maybe we do have an MEO heavy on call. Maybe there is something that we can do to have that backup, that resource that protects our operation. Right now, we have nothing to protect it, just fill in the gap with whoever's there, or cut out a truck when we're short guys. And we need to think bigger than that as this city grows, and our service is going to be more demanding. We have to start thinking about the future. 10 years down the road, this could be a great benefit to any city that would utilize a process like this. You just have to get around all the paperwork, and it's not as though we can't. We just have to find the way.
Damn women.
Right.
Councilmember Zaluski.
Okay, so if I can, do I have the floor again?
Sure.
So I'm just I want to just put my thought process out just so that everyone's aware. Obviously, I personally had some targets here for savings. The deferrals that we put forth got us, beyond the $125,000 of savings with the postponement of the reassessment. We had about another $63,000 of savings in the 5 or 6 positions that we were talking about, mostly deferring or eliminating. So what I'm trying to do here is save us the hassle. It looks like only 3 of the 7 of us have the stomach for deferring positions. I thought it was a good idea. You keep the positions, you keep every position, but you just you save money incrementally as you go along, and then when you're all done, you've got you got a little bit of something there that you can tell the taxpayers we worked to get your tax increase down. The other way to do that, of course, would be through outright elimination of positions, and the savings, and in this case, the Councilman Gully's plan to have a little more flexibility in the workforce and save some money. Andy, before I go on, I know this is tough to do on the fly. I'm trying to understand where we would be with overall savings, having eliminated the assistant code inspector, and assuming that we went with the Gully plan, if I can call it that, with the $28,000. Where does that get us?
Are you asking right now the total dollar amount that the budget's been reduced?
Yes.
$165,034.
That's including the assessment, of course, the delay.
That includes that is based off of number 4, the elimination of the funding for the assessment update of $125,000, and 10A, the elimination of the new assistant code inspector, which totaled $40,034.
Okay, so that doesn't figure in, I'm sorry, so that doesn't figure in anything we're discussing right now, which would be if all three of these components pass, that would be a $28,000 in addition to that, correct? No.
Yes, that would be,
Yes.
the number I gave you before would be in addition to the 165,000.
Okay.
I'm updating everything vote by vote.
Yep. Okay. I think that again, I'm doing this out loud here on the fly, but I think that would get us to where we were if we go forward with all of the deferments, and it looks like, these deferrals aren't going to pass. So I'll just put it out there right away that I will probably, if we go forward with this, I'll probably just withdraw all of our other amendments for deferring the hiring of positions. But the mayor wants to talk, so I'll yield the floor.
Mayor, I see your hand up. Hello.
I think that was a mistake, but I'll take the opportunity anyway. It's very difficult for us to determine whether this temp pool is advantageous for the city or not, because we don't have a crystal ball that shows us what the economy is going to do over the next 12 months. Certainly there are benefits in terms of getting to try people out and seeing if they work well for you, and then being in a position to offer them a full-time position if they do. However, if we eliminate those full-time positions and only have temporary positions, we may come across a stellar employee who is looking for full-time and benefits and chooses to go elsewhere because we don't have that in our budget. So that is the risk that we do run. Also, we, as the deputy mayor indicated, we will run out of temporary dollars at some point in the year and have to let people go unless we can transfer from somewhere else. But that would depend upon savings in another area. So, this is a sword that cuts both ways. And I wish I could say definitively which is better for the city, but I can't. So I'll leave that decision to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Further discussion, questions?
President.
Councilmember Cummings.
Yeah, I think I've voiced my broad support for the concept of moving towards some temporary salaries as well several times. I think my main concern here is that, as the deputy mayor said, this is the entirety of any additional staff that could go into that department, and it's a department that we know sorely needs it. Having another crew out there all the time, I think we're gonna get more than twice the work out of a full-time crew than this part-time salary pool. Of course, as the mayor said, I don't have a crystal ball to confirm that. My sense would be do both, get another crew on staff and create a pool. But my guess is that probably doesn't have broader support. So anyway, I guess the only other question I had on it was the MEO light. Is that, do we have any experience with getting part-time or temporary? I know the CDLs are in such high demand. Why would someone come part-time, no benefits to do that work? Have we ever hired CDL drivers on a temporary part-time basis?
No, actually, we've done the reverse. We've actually had laborers who had CDLs and paid them out of grade to fill the position just because of the challenges with it. So, but I think that,
Right. Yeah, I think those CDLs are incredibly important, and having enough in the budget that when we find when we can hire them is important. Because the more we have, the more work can get done across the city. So.
And Chair.
Yes.
So I'd also like to note, in the last contract we passed with CSEA, we actually added a clause that said that we would allow permit holders, right, for CDL driver's licenses to actually use that time to get their permit and get their license with us. And then we would pay for that. So that was a perk that you guys had passed in the 2 contracts ago, I think. So it's not like we're not trying to get CDL drivers to here, and it's not like the city can bonus people like a lot of the other private industries can to come on and do signing bonuses. So, I've talked to the commissioner about actually getting some flyers put together. Cahoe's put out a great holiday flyer, temporary seasonal flyer the other day for laborers and some crews for the general services department. So actually doing a little bit more of that, which hopefully the personnel tech that actually will be in the budget can help with that kind of stuff too, to actually be able to help generate some more interest around working for the city.
Thank you. Further discussion, questions? Yes, Councilmember Gully.
We can also work with the local colleges too, because that can produce both future laborers and future leaders in management. I mean, there's such a depth there that there's a lot of possibilities if we just use them right. And I have to counter Councilman Cummings' remark that you will get much more work out of a full-time crew than a couple part-timers. I will tell you that is always depending upon the individual, not the status.
Yep. Totally agree, Councilmember Gully. So further discussion, questions? All right. We are first going to vote on 11A. We have the motion. We have the second. We have discussed. I'm going to take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Steele.
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski.
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
And Council President Mantello, as a package, and this will be for all 3 of these. We put a lot of time and thought into all of these amendments. This one also in particular, we talked at length, probably about 5 hours over last weekend. And as Councilmember Gully, myself, we recognized all throughout the past 3-4 months, we have talked to the supervisor of this department. We've talked to employees, and we know there is a shortage of hiring right now in all workforces all across the board, whether it's the disabled folks, whether it's home care, whether it's healthcare, whether it's government, streets, vacancies everywhere I turn. Saying that, as Councilmember Gully said, it's not about part-time, a full-time, it's about the individual. We recognize this department needs, obviously, positions. In terms, they have positions now. They have vacant positions, as I mentioned earlier. By eliminating a laborer right now, an MEO light, and adding to the temporary, what we're saying is, listen, during this workforce shortage, during the pandemic, everybody's experiencing it. If we could get a couple part-timers on, you still have vacancies. We're not eliminating those. These are new positions. So saying that we're focusing more on minimizing the hirings and this temporary salary pool. So saying that I vote aye, and the amendment does carry for 11A 4-3. So that one has passed. And Mara, we're going to do checklists after. Andy also, he and I talked about this just to make sure we're all on the same page. Then we need to give Andy some time to work up the numbers. 11B, elimination of MEO light. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. Slow roll, Councilmember Gully.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Steele.
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zaluski.
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. Motion carries 4-3. I should say the amendment 11B carries. Now 11C, we are taking a majority of those savings, putting it into the temporary salary. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. Slow roll, Councilmember Gully,
yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings,
Yes.
Councilmember Zaluski,
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott,
Yes.
Council President Mantello, aye. That amendment carries 6-1. All right. 11D, I imagine, Councilmember Zaluski.
Yeah, I think we're at, if I can ask Andy for a tally once he's updated his spreadsheet, I just want to know where we're at with savings. If you'll oblige me.
Reach for the stars, Councilman Zaluski. Reach for the stars.
Always trying.
Go home or go big.
The general fund budget has been reduced $193,163.
My calculator says 193, so that's good. That's exactly where I thought we'd be. Okay. I'm going to propose that unless there's opposition from my own caucus, that we withdraw all other amendments for hiring deferrals.
I will let your caucus weigh in.
I would say that's
Fine with
moot.
me.
Point. Rather moot. Thank you, Mr. Zaluski.
Councilmember.
It's not, there's nothing moot. There on this particular one, it's moot, but we have a few others that I'm saying let's just withdraw all of them.
Councilmember Cummings.
Yes, I think every dollar we spend on paralegals it saves $4 from an attorney. So I support that idea. I didn't mean to sign my name to that proposal in the first place, to be clear.
Can I ask just a clarifying question? Councilmember Zaluski, you're proposing to withdraw 11D and
14.
number 14, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. That is correct.
Yep, that's what I got. And Councilmember McDermott, are you okay?
I am okay with that. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Moving along, we are now on 12. All right, we're into parks. With the parks, as mentioned earlier, we talked quite a bit last week about our proposals. So we will do 12A and 12B, Andy. 12A will be the new position, the recreation attendant. 12B, the new position of the laborer. Okay. I'll make a motion for the recreation attendant. Oh, sorry, Andy.
Did you withdraw recreation attendant at the beginning of the meeting?
I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. So I am withdrawing 12A. Okay. And my caucus is okay with that. Very good. And 12B, the laborer. So I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
this is another area that I feel temporary workers would be beneficial at. And the reason for not having the labor is just simply that to see what we could fill in the workforce for what we have there. So generally it's just the same thing. And after the first year, I'll be requesting to move more money into temporary salaries from this position to help.
Thank you.
Council President,
Councilmember Gully. Yes, Monica.
So, so let me just, because I know on the last one, I just want to clarify, because I understand what you're saying, Councilman Gully, but I guess my question is where's that money going to come from? Because before with the streets department, and I'm not saying anything against it, I just know by saying that we're going to do it. So we have temporary salaries in that budget line already under 102 for the Parks Department. Are you saying to add more to that like you did with the streets department, or just leave the temporary salaries like it is? Because if that's the case, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, great. That's great. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
All right, so you're saying leave the existing temporary salaries as they are, not add to them like you did with streets, even though you're eliminating a labor positions.
One position, yeah.
Yes, but also at the first year, looking to see if we need to fund that a little deeply, we're going to look to do that. If it becomes a program that becomes a benefit to the administration and the taxpayers.
Okay.
Okay, and on the discussion, there is a labor position vacant in a recreation maintenance worker 2. I believe that is a new proposal, and there's a vacant recreation attendant. So what we are proposing, keep them and eliminate the new position of 1 laborer.
Council President,
Yes,
recreation maintenance worker 2 is a new position.
yes, yep,
Okay.
yep. I got that. And yes, further discussion. Okay, so I'll make a motion for the labor. I believe we're in discussion. Slow roll, Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
One of our largest priorities over the last several years has been reinvesting in our parks. I think one of the main ways to do that is to reinvest in our park staff, because it's that ongoing maintenance that's going to make the park shine. So while certainly I support the use of the existing temporary funds to do the things we're talking about, and would hope that you do continue to look at making sure that there's enough in there. I think we also need this position to be working all the time for our staff, for our parks. So no.
Councilmember Zalewski,
Ditto and no.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
And I'll explain my vote quick. As mentioned, we did keep 2, or I should say, we kept the recreation maintenance worker 2 as expressed. We have 1 vacant labor and we have 1 vacant recreation attendant. So saying that, fill the existing and take away 1 of the 2 new positions proposed. I vote aye. The amendment fails 4-3, and that is 12B. Okay, let's see. This is at the request of the administration. I really want to thank Andy and Monica and the mayor. They went back to the drawing board regarding the capital plan and took away some proposed bonding for equipment. I'll hand you off to Andy or the mayor or Monica, whoever wants to quickly mention this.
So this is reflective of the amendment, the information that was in the memo sent to you all on November 15th, where the proposal is to fund through the capital reserve items that are within the capital plan that have a PPU of less than 20 years, I believe, or 15, and a value less than $200,000. It would be an appropriation of $956,515 from the capital reserve to purchase these assets, which are primarily vehicles.
Thank you, Andy. I guess the biggest question, what does that do to the tally? It's outside of the general fund, correct?
The capital reserve
Yeah.
is a piece of the fund balance within the general fund, which as of December 31st, 2020 had a balance of $3,648,286.
Okay. And overall, just savings, what's the impact regarding, obviously, the efforts this evening? Will it reflect
So
that?
it's net, it would be net neutral to the budget. It would show on the revenue side an appropriation of fund balance from the capital reserve with a matching expenditure as an interfund transfer to the capital fund. It is net neutral to the general fund budget.
Very good. You answered exactly how I thought you would answer. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Amendment 13 carries 7-0. Amendment 14 is withdrawn, and we're on to the council's final amendment. Amendment number 15, Councilmember Zaluski.
Are you handing it off to me?
Yep.
So first of all, I want to remove Councilmember McDermott from that.
Okay. Councilmember McDermott is stricken from the resolution.
You could remove me too if you want.
Councilmember Cummings is stricken from the resolution. Councilmember Zaluski.
Okay, so can I speak to this?
Absolutely.
So I want to be very clear. This is not like, as might be perceived, this is not some, as the majority is leaving, they're trying to, hamstring the, the incoming majority. This was an honest proposal to save money that we have not used in the last 2 years. The legislative assistant has not been filled for 2 years. And I think many people would agree that when it was filled prior to that, it was not overly used. I think effectively the legislative assistant was a videographer and maybe not much more than that. And I'm sure, and I've heard all members say at one point or another that it's not really that useful of a position. That being said, that's where we're at with it, or that's where I'm at personally, is that I don't think it's a very useful position. I think the structure of that position has changed over the years. It used to be, I remember the days of, Gary Pavlik traveling house to house, delivering packets to everybody. Everything's electronic now. I think we have maybe one member that gets the paper packets and everything else is electronic. Zoom has been very kind to us in that we, it effectively is our videographer for us, but at some point we'll be back in person. And I think the city clerk's office, to Mara's credit and her staff, they've taken up a lot of the slack that the legislative assistant was previously performing. So again, we haven't used it. But again, this is not something vindictive or something that we're trying. It's just we've all said it. We've all said that this is $10,000 that we're not using. So I put it out there. I'd love to hear what people have to say about it, and I could certainly be convinced to just remove the amendment if the minority feels strongly that this is something you want, or maybe not funded at 10,000, but something less. It's a position that we haven't used. That's all.
There's a
Chair.
motion. There's a motion on the floor. First, we need a second. Is there a second? Okay, there is no second. The amendment fails without a second. So amendment 15 is withdrawn. All right, now garbage, tuck trash. Okay, we got to break this up. I take it, Andy, to 16A, 16B, 16C. The adjustments, I don't think we need to label them, correct?
I'm sorry,
So
I'm missing that.
Oh, we'll wait for you. It's the last
Oh,
page.
yeah, it's a separate PDF. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
So what I would recommend is 16A, the temp salary, 16B, the sanitation person, 16C, the account clerk, 16D, the contingency, and then the revenue adjustments. And the last three could be a package together.
Very good. Okay.
Council President.
Yes, council
Before
member.
so are you now moving into the garbage fund? That
Yes.
16 is just the garbage fund.
Correct.
Okay, I have a proposal for the general fund. I don't know if we should talk about that after, because it's not documented right now. It's a minor change. I'll proceed in however Andy wants to proceed. If you want to do garbage.
Okay, let's do the garbage. We'll come back. Is that all right, Andy? Okay.
It's up to the council.
Yeah, I'd like to, whatever we have in writing, let's do that, and then we'll come back if, all right?
That sounds fine.
Cool, thanks. All right, so strategy here, Mr. Gully, take it away quick, give a bigger picture.
Oh, Council President, I don't know how much bigger I can give it to you than this sheet. We just looked dynamically for savings that we could adjust around to create a situation again for more temporary workers to fill the gap. This is my, and I don't know, I told you this last time. I don't know what's feasibly possible in a municipal setting, but the reality is that this process can help us fill all the vacancies that we get on a daily basis. Some that are long-term and some short. And I know that, the deputy mayor had stated that this would be good during the summer. Well, I'm not talking about summer temporary help. I'm talking about year-round. And I think if you search out, you'll get people that are in line looking for these type of positions. Because I think as we come out of the MAC and we've seen the contracts that will come up for our crews, we're finally getting them back to where it's a respectable pay for a respectable job. And I think that that's important. And as we move forward, we'll have more and more people who will be looking for that long-term position with the city. And I think that the temp program could help us. I know it's really just a fathomable thought right now, but as we develop it over the years, it could become a great tool to help us moving forward and maybe be an example for other municipalities if we utilize it properly. So that was my thought behind the movement of the money to the temporary salaries. And that's it.
Yep. Thank you, Councilmember Gully. I'll make a motion to move this forward. You explained it perfectly. While the savings is not huge with the garbage fee, we're open to ideas to try to get that number down. Saying that, I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion. We'll go line by line, but we can discuss as a total package if council members want to. If not, that's fine too.
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I'd just like to make one suggestion. If the majority has a focus on just denying any of these changes, we can just talk about it and do it as a whole, or if they want to do it as a part. But I will tell you that if you look at the subtle amounts that we took out, we didn't try to I forgot the word that was used the other night, but
scalp,
whatever, cut, yeah, nothing like that. Just try to be realistic as to what could be possible and what could be workable for the department to work on without losing much ground. In fact, I don't think it would cost them any ground at all. But I mean, I just thought that he was a reasonable cuts in each one of the areas to try to sharpen up that pencil to get that number down for the taxpayers. I know we got a lot coming up in next year. I'm hoping that we move into a standard barrel program that really exemplifies the process of efficiency throughout the city. And I know that'll be a costly move. So whatever we can save this year would certainly be respected and be a benefit to the taxpayers that we serve.
Awesome. Great explanation. I don't need to add anything. Is the council okay? Well, you know, we'll just do what we've been doing for Andy's sake. So 16A, we have a motion, we have second. I'll do a slow roll if no further discussion. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zalusky,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. Amendment fails 4-3. We were putting money for that amendment in temporary salary. The next one, sanitation person, council, I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, slow roll, discussion. I apologize. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
slow roll. Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zalusky,
No.
Councilmember McDermott.
No.
Okay, the amendment 16B fails 4-3. The next, account clerk. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. Slow roll, Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings.
No.
Councilmember Zalusky,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello, aye. 16C fails 4-3. We're doing the contingency garbage fee and the garbage fee adjustment all as one. 16D, that'll be. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, amendment D fails 4-3. Okay. Councilmember Zalusky.
So why don't we give Andy? He looks
Well,
like
I
he's,
thought you wanted to do a slight before.
I do, but it's in the general fund and Andy looks like he's.
You okay to
programming or
move, Andy?
I'm ready. I'm ready to hear what it is so it can be
Rock and
costed
roll.
out.
Rock and roll, let's hear it.
Andy, so can you please tell me, standard question, where do we stand right now in total savings? Are we still at the 193?
$193,163.
Okay, thank you. So the amendment that I'd like to propose, based on feedback that we've received regarding the Director of Diversity, is I'd like to take 5K of that savings and apply that to the 65K salary for the Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Diversity, and bring that salary up to $70,000. My concern is that 65 is just too low. I don't, obviously 5K is not a huge amount, but 70K, psychologically is a better number to be offering as a starting salary to get a qualified and quality individual. So that's my amendment. I'd like to take 5K of savings and apply it to that position.
Second that.
We have a motion on the floor to amend, and I will give folks out there, bear with me. Okay, A1210. The Director of Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion, add 5K from the 193 of the proposals that did pass that were saved. We have a motion, we have a second discussion.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I am certainly not against the Director of DEI. I certainly think that it's a powerful position that we need. The problem I've had since the beginning is when I asked for the requirements and educational standards that the administration would ask for that position, I've never received any. Through my research online, I've seen where it takes an associate's degree and 3 to 5 years of experience in that field to be able to acquire some of those jobs that have the larger incomes. But most people in the private sector are not making that, and a lot of companies are forced to just train their HR department to work at that. I have no problem with having a person in that department. I have a problem with not having any qualifications for that person in that department. That's why it wasn't for the 65,000, not because the 65,000 is too much, because the mayor is perfectly right. The average income is around $90,000 in that field, but those are for educated, experienced individuals. And I'd like to make sure that we move in that direction. And I have not gotten that answer in the twice that I've asked for it, and I understand it. But I'm saying that I think a person of that value should have the proper background and experience to handle that position and not just be selected without good scrutiny. And I think that's why Councilwoman Nancy McPherson was thinking more of a civil service position, because there would be a lot more involved in being able to qualify for that position. So I would like to see better qualifications, and I hope that at the time when we do go to hire them, that we will see those, because that will only exemplify that position and make it more of a value to the administration that's going to be serving with them.
Okay, Councilmember Gully, further discussion, questions? Okay, we'll do a slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
Again, to explain my vote, I have no value for what is going to be expected of the value of this person or educational background, so I have to say no at this point.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Chair, just 1 second. I'd like to just explain my vote. Again, I'm going to say that this is a very important position. I don't know what kind of dollar amount to put on it at this moment, because I don't know what kind of experience, I don't know what kind of the qualifications, I don't know what's out there on this. So at this point, I'm going to say no.
Councilmember Steele.
Yes.
Councilmember Cummings.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we just heard made a ongoing case for doing this and maybe more. But I think certainly at least this, because I think you're absolutely right. We want someone with high qualifications and expertise to do this. And I think you're just going to have to, unfortunately, at this point in the process, we're going to have to trust the mayor to have an involved process that finds the right person for this job and for the city. So, yes.
Councilmember Zaluski.
Just to explain briefly, of course, I would echo what Councilman Cummings said. We did spend many hours of meetings with the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. And we have to, at some point, meetings are one thing, and then taking action as a result of all those meetings is another thing. And this is a concrete action that will help our city as a whole become the inclusive and welcoming city that we want it to be. We all talk about it. We all say that. And I know we all agree that this position is important. Just that the starting salary, I think there's probably, just like I said, there's a little bit of a psychological level there where when you hit the 70,000, it's just a little bit more of an appealing position. I put this forward because we ended up, thanks to some bipartisanship here, we ended up at about $5,000 extra of savings than what I was originally planning. So that's actually really awesome. And I figured this is for me, this is the priority. Taking that little bit of savings and applying it to the position, and giving Mayor Madden the mandate to find a qualified person that can do this work. It really is important and impactful work for our city. And look, I know we're saying like there, you don't see the specifications for the position, but if there's anyone that I trust to make sure that we find a highly, highly qualified person, I know it's Patrick. He's done that through his whole career. So, I have faith that he'll find the right person. And not just Pat, I mean, the entire administration will, through the recruitment process, will find the right person for this. And we just want to make sure that they're compensated properly. This is very exciting for the city. So I vote aye on my own amendment.
Okay, Councilmember McDermott.
Yes.
Council President Mantello, as I've mentioned all along, I fully support this position as a member of the PRRC, and not just the PRRC, but more importantly, we've talked about a more diverse, a more inclusive workforce. Saying all of that, I disagree that money brings inclusivity, diversity. The people of Troy and our workforce bring inclusiveness, bring diversity. So whether it's 5,000, whether it's 10,000, that's not going to make our city more inclusive, more diverse. Is this going to help improve our workforce, hopefully, recruitment, the collaborations, improve the diversity and inclusiveness in our workforce? I hope so. And I have high hopes for this position. However, I kind of heard, well, $5,000 more will make our city maybe more inclusive, more diverse. We, the people of Troy and our workforce, it's all on us individually to make our city more inclusive, more diverse. So I vote no on the additional $5,000. Amendment does pass 4-3. Okay, Andy, we'll let you tally. While you're tallying, Mara, I know you take copious notes. Can we go through one by one? Amendment 1, I have as no. Can you go through? Thank you.
Yeah, hang on just one second. Let me get my stack of paper here. Amendment 1 failed, Amendment 2 failed, Amendment 3 failed, Amendment 4.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yep, sorry.
Amendment 4 passed. Amendment 5 failed. Amendment 6A failed. Amendment 6B failed. Amendment 7 failed.
Yeah, 6B did fail. That was not withdrawn. Okay, yep.
7 failed. 8 failed. 9 failed. 10A passed. 10A revote passed. 10B failed. 10C
withdrawn.
Was withdrawn. Hold on just 1 minute. Withdrawn. 11A passed. 11B passed. 11C passed. 11D was withdrawn.
Yep.
12A was withdrawn. 12B failed. 13 passed. 14 was withdrawn. 15 did not get a second and was withdrawn. 16A failed. 16B failed. 16C and 16D both failed. And 17 passed.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll take a 3-4 minute break while Andy is working the numbers for the actual ordinances, resolutions, the tax levy. We'll be back. Potty break, whatever break. We'll be back 3-4 minutes. Thank you.
Do you want to actually vote on Resolution 99? You didn't actually vote on the total resolution.
We can do that if no one needs Andy.
You need to fill in the numbers on the bottom of the resolution.
Yep,
Oh, okay,
yeah, I
okay, thank
just
you.
realized. I knew I held off for a reason, Andy. Thank you. And so potty break, whatever break, see you in 3-4 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. If we could start working our way back. We have a chock full agenda and I see Andy's back, so that's a good sign. Okay. Councilmember Gully, you coming back, and Councilmember Cummings, I saw Andy's with us, Councilmember Zaluski, Councilmember Steele, Councilmember McDermott, Monica. I know the mayor's here. We have a picture of his kind of office looking room. Andy, you're all set? Awesome. Ugh. All right, so I really, want to thank everyone again. And, I know on all fronts, a lot of work has gone into this. So we'll have back Councilmember Gully, Councilmember McDermott. Hi there. I see some people chomping. I've not eaten. I'm starving. Marvin, you have any aromas in your area, Councilmember Zaluski?
No, I actually don't know where Mike is right now. I think he assumed that this was going to be an extremely late night and probably just left. I don't know.
He's like, I'm out of the house during this. I can't stomach it.
And I am hungry, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get rolling. So Andy, Mara, let's open up resolution 90. I apologize, my cord for my laptop. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
I got my Publishers Clearinghouse entry thing. So if I win, I pledge to share lots of it with everyone on this call.
I'm glad they record these calls.
I didn't say how much.
All right. Sorry, I had to grab the cord. The laptop's in. Now the iPad.
Jim, you here?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay, Andy, let's roll with resolution 99. Bear with me. Okay. So where it says at the bottom, be it resolved, you actually have to change appropriations or no?
So the last be a resolved
Okay.
is what has been, because there's amendments approved, that is the section that will be applicable.
Got it.
The first blank for the general fund, the number is 78746,500. $78,746,500.
Andy, could you type those into the chat? Would that be
Yes.
possible? Thank you.
Yes, and I did email them to you, Mara.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Okay, general fund, garbage fund.
There's no change from the above. It remains the same, 5,025,524. Water, 1,282,377. And sewer, 4,238,856.
Okay, so we have the numbers and the be it resolved. I would, now that the numbers are in, prefer Councilmember Zaluski has sponsored. So there is there a motion? Now that the numbers are in.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Cummings. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. On the discussion, I'm going to do slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
Council President,
Yes, you are not on video, by the way.
I am not, you're right, but I will be in a second. But tell me, on the resolution that we're voting on, please repeat that to me because I'm a little confused right now.
Yep, no problem. This is the resolution adopting the mayor's budget with the various amendments that have been approved this evening. The general fund has been changed. The initial number was 70, I apologize, 77,977,765. Andy, the new number, you have 78. It couldn't have gone up with the amendments.
It went up because of the capital reserve appropriation.
Okay, but the amendments brought the general fund. I thought that you said
Where you'll see the decrease is on ordinance 102. The tax levy went down because of the other amendments. So if you don't include the capital reserve appropriation to the capital fund of 956,515, total expenditures would be 77,789,985, and then the 956,515 gets added in.
well, I don't know if the majority, I mean, is there a way at least in the resolution to separate that? Only because I would think that the sponsor and folks, I mean, it appears, it makes it look like the budget went up. I mean, you know, I'm not sponsoring this, but it's up to the.
Is it possible? Yeah.
Go ahead. Councilmember Cummings.
We can't amend the amendment on the capital fund was sort of procedural, should have been included in the original mayor's proposed. But I mean, so could we amend that first whereas to include the capital fund as well? Just for sort of to show the difference more precisely?
That would probably be a question for Rick on his interpretation of the charter. And because it's my understanding that the first be it resolved would be if there were no amendments to the budget. So the mayor's original proposed budget had appropriations totaling $77,977,765. The second be it resolved was reflective of all amendments. The capital reserve / interfund transfer was approved as an amendment this evening, but I would defer to Rick.
Or before Rick jumps in, I like that idea, Councilmember Cummings, but if you can't do that, I guess number two, the question would be for Rick, can you split, just be it resolved that the appropriations put the 70, you know, the amount that was, you know, approved through the amendments, and then the capital reserve separate from that. So I'm not sure if that can be done if number one can't be done.
I'm not sure I really understand the difficulty here. So what is the suggestion exactly?
So the first suggestion is, can we So background, the capital reserve came in from the administration. It wasn't part of the original proposed budget, but it also wasn't really part of our negotiated reductions. So the question is, can we amend that first resolved to recognize that capital fund value, even though it wasn't technically in the budget that was submitted to us? Does it matter if that first resolve will be slightly?
Andy, how does the
Doesn't it-
capital reserve operate in the budget itself?
It's a fund balance appropriation to pay for an expense that's capital related. So there's an appropriation of $956,000 for the capital reserve, which is treated as a revenue in the budget. And there's an expenditure of $956,515 transferring it to the capital projects fund.
And that went up as a result of these amendments? That was
Correct.
done?
The total general fund revenues and expenditures both increased. Just that singular amendment increased revenues and expenditures $956,515.
Okay, but that was something added by the mayor during the negotiations? I wasn't there for that. I mean, it wasn't part of the original budget?
No, it was the original budget. The original proposed budget was released on October 8th.
Yep.
This was incorporated on a memo sent to the city council on November 15th. I do want to note one thing. The ordinance 102 will need to be amended to decrease both sections 4 and section 5 to reflect the other amendments made this evening.
So the tax levy will go down.
Correct.
Neil,
I think that shows our work just as well, but either way, go ahead. Sorry, Rick.
no, why don't you go ahead? What you're about to say that as long as the tax levy goes down, it doesn't really make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, for the two people that come and look at this legislation, it doesn't quite tell the story of what happened here, but they can read the minutes or watch the meeting.
I see the mayor's hand up. I'm just going to jump in. Mayor, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I think maybe after appropriations in the amount of, and I didn't memorize the number, but 78 million and change. Could you add a parenthetical statement that says including
Right.
900 and whatever it was thousand transfer from the capital reserve?
Exactly. Yep.
And then, I think Anasha makes a good point. Nobody's going to look at this. But I do understand people's concern that it may be used against them in the future politically if the resolution itself has that parenthetical statement that shows the reader, the casual reader, that there's more going on here than we got together and increased the budget. That'd be my suggestion.
I think that suggestion makes sense. I mean, and I think, we are entitled to amend the resolution. Did we just lose something?
Nope, you're all set, Rick. Yeah, what we can do, we can amend to add that, but I do see Andy's hand up. Andy?
If the amendment's made, I would request that it says including a $956,515 transfer to the capital projects fund. Just that it's particular, but the capital reserve appropriation is on the revenue side. This resolution is on the expenditure side.
Okay. Councilmember Zaluski, you're the sponsor. Do you want to amend the reso to state, just so it's more clear regarding that particular transfer.
Yeah, so it's, the mayor beat me to it. I was going to suggest just putting parentheses after the new amount and making it clear that the new amount consists of, it includes the $956,515 of capital reserve appropriation. So, yes, I will make a motion that we include a parenthetical after the phrase "with the appropriations to be in the amount of," and that amount is $78,746,500. Parentheses. And Andy, you wanted it to be spelled out that this includes $956,515 of capital reserve appropriations. Am I saying that correctly, or do you want that worded differently? Did I lose Andy?
He is on mute and
Just a
Hold
second.
on, we have a little bit of a situation. Hold on.
Okay,
is
okay.
he okay?
Hey, Chair, in the meantime,
Yes.
Councilman Zaluski,
Yes.
would it make, and to the council members, would it make sense on the paragraph before that where it says the city council hereby adopts the mayor's recommended budget as proposed with the appropriation being an amount of $77,977 and $765? Should we put it all also in there that
You can't.
No.
That's what Rick said. Yeah, we can't.
all right, okay. I was just thinking if you offset it, then people could see the bigger amount there and the lesser amount there, even when you put it in and,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that
I think you're
first
thinking, Jim.
resolved clause is the budget as it was proposed.
Correct. And Councilmember Cummings did suggest that if we could, Rick verified can. I just hope all is okay back at City Hall.
Yeah.
I think Andy's returning to his computer right now.
Okay.
Is he back?
But he zoomed out.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Are you there?
I think we may have lost Andy for the evening. He has an urgent family matter.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Hmm.
Oh, geez. Okay. Wow.
Let's see, Monica's with him. She'll get back to us in a moment.
Okay.
Monica. Okay. She's getting to her computer right now.
I think the problem's going to be the other numbers unless
Yeah.
gave them to Monica. I feel terrible.
He emailed the numbers to me for ordinance 102. I do have those numbers.
Okay, I got his paperwork.
Okay. Our prayers are obviously with Andy. Okay. All right. So Councilmember Zaluski has a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott. Discussion. I'm going to take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
Council President, can I just interrupt for 1 minute?
Sure.
If it's okay with everybody, I'm gonna, I'll go back tomorrow and review the recording, and I'll just copy exactly the language that Andy had requested. And I'll put that in as the amendment, okay, based on what the recording was.
Very good.
Chair, before we do the slow roll, we're voting on ordinance 90 or resolution 99 right now, correct? We're
That's
not
correct.
voting on any amendment.
No, resolution 9, we are. We have a motion, we have a second on the resolution. This is on the this is on the amendment. So all in favor on the amendment?
Aye.
The amendment is, okay.
Okay, amendment carries 7-0. On the amended resolution, is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Cummings, is there a second?
A second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. All right, I'm going to, discussion on the amended. I'm going to do slow roll. Councilmember Gully.
I'll discuss my vote now. While I am very appreciative and respectful of the communication that we've had, and also actually a very calm meeting tonight. I'm very surprised. I'm really surprised. So I applaud all of you. And I realize that we've worked to get this number down. You know, for me, I just think that we have to push a little further and we have to push a little harder sometimes. And while I respect all the work that was done, I have to cordially decline and say no to the budget.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Andy, and I want to thank Monica, the deputy mayor. They put a lot of work into this, and I appreciate everything they did. And Councilman Gully is right. You know, we all worked very hard on this budget. We're all pushing for our taxpayers. We all want to do better and make better for them. With this, you know, I would have liked to seen a zero tax increase. Because there's a lot of zero taxes going on around our area, and we need to give something back to our residents and our taxpayers. It's been a rough year. It's been a rough 2 years. And again, I just want to thank the mayor and the deputy mayor and everybody involved, the department heads and what they've done, but I am going to vote no on this.
Councilmember Steele.
I echo my colleagues in thanking the administration. Is there a problem feedback wise? Okay. Lots of discussion, a lot of hours, lots of hearings, a lot of comments, some heard, some not. We never get all that we want. But I think overall, this is a balanced package. It started out not being much of a tax increase at all. And so, as we said, translating to about a cup of coffee, I don't know, maybe we're down now to a smaller size coffee. I'm not sure. And how that really will impact folks, we'll see. We lost when it came to investing in our workforce. We're not going to be able to give the degree of services that our residents have asked us for if we don't invest in the people to provide those services and the equipment to work for them to work with. It's not always about the number. I respect those who feel it is. For me, it's about helping and making sure those services are of a caliber that our residents really deserve. So I want to thank everybody for the give and take. And I want to say to those who won't be with us next year, you're very lucky. Oh, no.
I almost said that.
No, you know, it has been an interesting process. And as I say often, onward. So I vote yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Councilmember Cummings.
Yeah, I'll just say that, again, thank the administration for all their hard work on this and on all 4 budgets that I've had the pleasure of working with them on. All 4 budgets which remained under the tax cap while continuing to rebuild our staffing levels and our ability to provide the services we need to our residents. All 4 on time. And, you know, I hope that my colleagues who are continuing on continue that good work of increasing the capacity for our city to serve our residents while balancing that well with fiscal responsibility. And I think that's what this budget does. And I'm proud to support it. So yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Cummings. Councilmember Zaluski.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo what Council members Steele and Cummings already said. You know, no one ever gets everything that they want in a budget process. Would we love to have a 0% tax increase? Yes. Do I feel that we could get there responsibly? No. We have to provide a level of service that our taxpayers expect of us, and that does require staffing. That's just a fact of running city government. You have to have staff that can do their jobs, do them well. I know we've talked about gaining efficiencies in departments and all of that. That's got to be combined with having the resources. You could say that a department is not managed correctly, but if a manager is underwater with staff where they can't allocate the people they need to get the job done, no manager is going to be able to magically make that happen. You do need staff, and the city's been pretty trim for many, many years now. And this budget just adds enough staff to keep us above water and to keep our services going, and hopefully to enhance our services. We've got some, with respect to some of these newer positions, especially with the traffic engineer. I know we talk a lot about the director of diversity, but the traffic engineer and engineering in general is so critical to running a municipality, and we really need to staff up there. And of course, I've said this before with IT. IT runs our entire city. It's the lifeblood of the city. Well, our employees are the lifeblood of the city, but IT is certainly foundational in running a modern municipality, and we need to invest in our IT staff as well. So, I didn't get everything I wanted on this. I don't think any of us did. But here's the win-win. Here's the win-win. We've increased staffing so that we can enhance our city services, and we've responsibly reduced the tax increase for our taxpayers. So to me, that's a win-win, and that's a budget that I will support. I vote aye.
Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. Councilmember McDermott.
Voting second last makes it a little easier for me. I like to echo my colleagues and vote yes on this. Thank you.
And Council President Mantello, I only have about 45 minutes that I need to explain my vote. I'm kidding. I want to echo everyone's comments. I got to tell you, I do watch other municipalities, and along my travels, I've seen other municipalities, during budget time. I must say, the council and the administration scrutinize this budget like no other. We're line by line. When I tell folks how we go through amendments, they're just blown away. The checks and balances have come so far. So saying that, I think we've come a long way. I want to thank the mayor for meeting us on the reassessment. That was huge, and we had a wonderful conversation over the weekend. I want to thank Councilmember Zaluski for bending on a couple. He didn't bend on a couple more that I was hopeful that he would. But at the end of the day, for me, while there's some wins, for me, there's just not enough wins. And this isn't, saying Councilmember Zaluski's wrong or this one's right. This is just me. I just had an incredible opportunity to oversee a similar workforce of laborers, welders, electricians, you name it, drivers, etc. And I just come from that cloth. If you have vacancies, you gotta fill those vacancies first. If you have departments that maybe, are having a workforce shortage, you look at a little creativeness. And I do want to thank Councilmember Zaluski for thinking out the box with us on that. That was huge. So, but saying that, I just come from that cloth where we really have to look to more efficiency, to more synergy, to look at our pools in terms of departments, in terms of proactiveness. And I, applaud our workforce. I just think that we could even go more with less. We didn't take a scalpel out with our proposals. We proposed filling vacancies. We proposed keeping some of the new hires. We also proposed not filling or not funding some of those new hires. So we really tried to take a really balanced approach. We do have some wins, the firefighters, obviously, another major issue. We unified on that issue. The capital projects, we're going to be going over that shortly. Once again, we came together on many of those fronts. So, while I applaud everyone for really going through this, scrutinizing line by line, at the end of the day, for me, it just doesn't go far enough to get that tax hike down to zero. We did get the garbage fee down a little bit. We wanted to go a little bit farther, but unfortunately, those amendments were shot down also. But saying that, at the end of the day, it just doesn't go far enough for me, so I vote no. So the resolution carries, resolution 99, 4-3. All right, we're going to hit now 102. I believe next we should vote on the tax levy, and I believe Monica has those numbers.
Hold on 2 seconds.
Yep, no problem.
Yes, and you already did public utilities, right? You did 101 already?
Not yet. I figured we do 102 first.
Okay, but don't you, so let me just think about this for a second, because Andy's got him warranted, he's got him under 101 first, 99, and then 102 last, because the
Okay.
water fund is in the budget.
Got it. No problem. So we're going to hit 101. 101, ordinance amending Code of Rules and Regulations of the Department of Public Utilities to establish new water and sewer rates. Council members Zaluski, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember McDermott. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. Discussion. Okay, we're going to do a slow roll. Councilmember Gully?
Is that 101?
Correct. 101.
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson?
If you don't mind, I'm just going to explain my vote real quickly. Back in my first time on the council, we did had to raise the sewer rate from the 85% up to 100% to balance it all out. And now we're going the other way. And I know it's only 20 cents. We're bringing down the sewer again and raising up on the water rate 20 cents. I think that's what the difference is. I just feel like it's a shell game going back and forth. And I feel like by next year, we're going to come back and say, we have to raise the sewer rate back up. So, I mean, I'm going to say no to this. I just think the game going on, if you needed to raise it to 20 cents, give us a legit reason why it has to go and stop fluctuating that way. That's the way I'm interpreting it. So I'm going to say no to this.
Councilmember Steele?
Yes.
Councilmember Cummings?
Yes.
Councilmember Zaluski?
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott?
Yes.
Council President Mantello? No. Ordinance 101 carries 5-2. Ordinance 102, or I apologize. Yeah, 102. Sorry. Now, Monica, you have some numbers.
I do. So in section 4, the amount of should be changed to 26,687,458. Again, section 4, the amount is 26,687,458.
Okay.
And section 5, the amount to be changed to 27,362,458.
Okay. Thanks, Monica. All right. So ordinance 102, ordinance appropriating the various amounts as approved in the City of Troy budget for fiscal year 2022 and levying taxes on all taxable property within the city of Troy and the amount required to be raised by property taxes for the fiscal year 2022 budget. Councilmember Zaluski, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski. Monica, did Andy give a percent, just so that's, so folks know? Because I know obviously it went down. Do you, Councilmember Cummings, do you have your trustee calculator out?
I would make sure to get Andy's number. No offense, Councilman Cummings. But it's the official. Yeah, it'd be the official. Yeah, well, we know what happens with approximate sometimes.
I know. Okay, it definitely, obviously, has been reduced, saying that,
I mean, if you just take the previous number and divide it by the new number, you get, I think it's 0.68%.
yeah. Okay. All right, we have a motion, we have a second discussion. Okay, I'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
No.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
No.
Councilmember Steele,
Yes.
Councilmember Cummings,
Yes.
Councilmember Zaluski,
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott,
Yes.
Council President Mantello, while it did come down, I definitely know that we could have gotten that down more without hurting, our services. No. So ordinance 102 carries 4-3. All right. Resolution 100, resolution determining that the Riverwalk Trail construction project will not have a significant effect on the environment. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a
I'll
motion?
make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, resolution 100 carries 7-0. Resolution 101, resolution determining that proposed actions are type 2 actions for purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 101 carries 7-0. Resolution 102, resolution determining that proposed action is a type 2 action for purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 102 carries 7-0. Resolution 103, bond resolution of the city of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $3 million serial bonds to finance the Riverwalk Trail construction in the city. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, on the discussion. I just want to say regarding some of the bonding, if there are folks still watching this evening, I hope you are, stating that we did receive a number of grants for some of this bonding. So some of the bonding is actually required to receive a grant. For instance, last week, the transmission line, So saying that, please feel free to reach out to us regarding any of these proposed funds. All right, we have a motion. We have a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 103 carries 7-0. Resolution 104, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $7.25 million serial bonds to finance the cost of the construction of the South Troy Industrial Roadway. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott, discussion. This is,
President?
oh, go ahead, sorry, Councilmember Cummings.
This is the South Troy roadway.
Correct.
I was just wondering if we get an update on the 3 issues identified in the memo. Parking impact, the building, and the salt pile.
We'll let Monica get organized.
So Valenti is, there was the one issue with the Valenti property was actually the solar panels on the roof. That, as of this week, has been corrected and they're moving forward with all of that stuff. The salt pile, I believe they're continuing to work as far as the relocation of that. And then the building removal and the truck parking, that's part of the closure, the settlement package, so to speak.
Okay. And this includes building a new bridge over the posting kill.
Yes. This is the last phase of the original project.
And I guess none of this bonding will actually happen until the those issues. Will it happen before those issues are resolved?
No, because we have to go out to bid. So once DOT says we're good
Okay.
to go out to bid, then we go out to bid. And then this is enough to authorize the contract. And then say we go out to bid and the bids come back, and then we can award, and we can go out, we can issue the bonds whenever they are ready.
Great.
The authorization is enough to get it moving.
Great. Moving is good as long as we're not paying interest while it's moving. Okay.
Good questions, Councilmember Cummings. Further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution 104 carries 7-0. Resolution 105, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of an additional $3.175 million serial bonds to finance the reconstruction and improvement of the golf course in the city. Councilmember Zaluski, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully, discussion. I'm gonna
Mr.
take a
President?
roll.
Well, I can
Councilmember-
say what I have to say during the vote. It's fine.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Gully.
Explain my vote. I'd like you to consider this vote sort of like an equity line of credit on your home. When you look to do repairs and you have 4 or 5 things you're doing, you can't do them all at once. But you have that equity line, you don't go out and get just a piece you need. They give you the equity line and you use it as you need it. The value of this bond is the same thing. We're looking at a revenue generator that we need to grow. It has a lot of potential way beyond what it had, where it's at right now, even though it looks beautiful. There's a lot of things that can actually help to generate additional revenue there. And one thing I can tell you is that if you had a pond in your yard, you'd find a way to clean it up. And I think we have to do that up here because this revenue generator is just a beautiful piece. And we need to do the proper things. What we do tonight on this vote will carry us for the next 15, 20 years or more with this course, because that whole setup is so important to have a completed picture. Again, I ask you to support it. I'm going to vote yes.
Council President.
Yes, Monica.
So if Andy wanted me to put this forward. We would also offer an amendment if it was more palatable to the council. This is really important work going again back to everybody's talked about the drainage and the revenues and making sure that the back 9 and the front 9 are playable. And after conversations with Greg on the importance, prioritizing the work, so to speak, he felt if he could just get phase 1 and 2 completed without looking at the full 3.9, we would be okay if you wanted to amend the 3.175 to be 1.750 instead of the 3.175, and that would be enough to allow phase 1 and 2 to be completed. And then we can reevaluate after that point if the council would consider that, rather than voting this down because it needs to be done because we got to get the revenues generated and the course up to date. But it's an option for you to consider if somebody wants to put forward that amendment.
I love that amendment and I will put forth that amendment. So I'll make a motion to amend exactly what Monica just said. I hope that you wrote it down, Mara. It was 1.75, correct?
Yeah, so in the heading of resolution 105, the 3.175 will change to 1.750. And then in section 1, 3.9 will actually be 2.500. And then constituting an increase of 1.750. So it's either 2.50 is the total, and then the new bonding resolution is 1.750 throughout the document.
Chair,
There's a motion. We need a second.
but we're in the middle of a vote. Didn't Councilman Gully already vote?
He did.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a vote. You
it-
just can't do an amendment in the middle of it.
You can, well, first of all, we were on a slow roll, so saying that Robert's rules, I would take a motion to break from the slow roll to further discuss. But there isn't a second to my motion. We are on a slow roll. I would state, I'll make a motion to break from the slow roll to discuss.
I don't think we can do that.
I think you can break from a slow roll if we voted to break.
I think we need to vote it down.
If we all agree it's worthwhile, we can just do it. If someone has a major problem with doing this, let us know. But
I just
we
wanna
all
make
think it's
sure-
fine.
I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing. I don't want to make sure that we're in the middle of a vote.
We're
and
in-
changing it.
Well, as the president of the council, I'm going to make a motion to suspend the slow roll to further discuss this resolution. I have a motion.
I'll second you.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Cummings. All in favor? Aye.
I mean, I'll vote for it, even though I don't think we can do it, but
You
Opposed?
just did.
I know, we just did it.
We broke the rules.
If we unanimously agree to change the rules, we can just do whatever we want.
And you can suspend the rules. So saying that, let's discuss a possible amendment. I will withdraw my motion to amend to further discuss. So saying that Monica put forward a proposal. Obviously, if Greg is in line with it, it's not going to hurt. I would love to entertain this, so I'll make a motion to amend this resolution accordingly. Is there a second? Then we can discuss.
I mean, I'll second it as the primary sponsor.
Okay. So there's the second to the motion. Questions, discussion. I know Councilmember Gully, you're very passionate about this. Are you concerned about this amendment, or are you cool with it? If Greg is good, obviously, I don't think it's, gonna harm, obviously, the
Council
production.
President, I don't think there's any harm or foul here. I just question that after we do these phases, I mean, I won't be here in 2 years. I don't know who'll be here in 2 years. And if they short fund it, we end up with 3/4 of a project or half a project, and I'm okay with that. whatever, here's what I will tell you to the council members. Whatever way you feel is the best way to go, I will understand it and I will support it. I just think that even though we bond for the money for the complete project, the money is not used until the project comes up and we're able to successfully finish that project. And, you know, who knows, maybe the price will come down by then, but, and also the rate on the bond is very low right now. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but if you're going to go 1.75 and you have that equity line, get your equity line where you need it so the job can be completed going forward in the future, and put your name to it. Because if we just do half a job, we'll be just doing half a job. I just think that it'd be important to really set it up for success in the future, because we don't know who's going to sit in our seats down the road. And if we really want to make this a revenue generator and a dime, I know a lot of you guys don't play golf, but I will tell you, this is a diamond in our city that's still rough and being polished. You have no clue. Golfers are the worst addicts in the world. When they find a course that they buy into, it's like front row at the bar. I'm just telling you, they just come every week, sometimes 3-4 times a week. So I'm just asking you as a council, this is your choice. I'll follow you whatever way you want to go. But I think that funding this process over the period of years that we need to get a completed project makes much more business sense than saying, we'll give you half the money and we'll see if the other council will give you the half later. We have a gem on our hands. Don't let it dissipate down or have any lackluster in it, because we don't make a good decision.
Council
Okay.
President?
Yep, Councilmember Cummings.
I mean, I'm increasingly thinking there should be a broader sort of cost benefit analysis around all of this that I don't know that has been done. Obviously, there's a lot of benefits to the golf course. There are also some extreme costs to the golf course, both literally financial, losing county city taxpayers $100,000 plus per year right now. Not losing, spending. As well as, you know, that doesn't even start to consider the opportunity costs of what could be done with that large an area in the center of our city. I don't know how that cost benefit happens. My inclination would be to not add funding. My guess is that that's not a direction the rest of the council's ready to go at this point. But I think the first half, the part that is, draining the swamp, getting the drainage together, that part makes some sense from a financial cost benefit. It increases the play times if we are going to continue to have a course at this level. The rest of this stuff, I think, does need to build on that work. We need to see the impact of that work before we commit another couple $1 million to improve play, to update things. All that stuff may be important, but I think that's for the next council to decide based on the success of this drainage project, whether or not they want to move holes around and update play in those other ways. So yeah, I would certainly support the amendment to at least just prioritize the parts that are critical to basic operation. From an environmental standpoint, I'm a little concerned about even those, because literally what we're proposing with them is draining wetlands. But it's in the center of a golf course already. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Council President?
Yes, Monica.
Yep. So just to follow up, Andy sending me information, and like we're all chatting over here as he's on the way to where he's going. So just a cost benefit analysis of just example of last year, especially during the rainy season that we had, and the expectations of the courses. Just to reiterate, Josh talked a little bit about it during the budget hearing. We lost about $255,000 last year in golf course revenues because of rain and drainage issues. That includes not being able to do the cart rentals, that's closing the course, that was delays, rescheduling groups and outings, and 3 tournaments. So, you know, $255,000 on an annual basis should be more than enough to pay the bill. And it's also trying to drive more revenue and more playtime at the course. And I offer this up as an amendment because I do, to cancel it outright or to vote down the resolution outright is not the right thing. So I just wanted to make sure that we are paying attention to it. So if the council wants to vote for the full amount, vote for the full amount, but there is an amendment offered up if it's needed.
Okay, there is a motion, there is a second, it's still discussion. So,
Council President,
yes, Councilmember Gully.
I would love to hear from more of the majority.
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Steele.
I tend to echo Councilman Gully here. We have the opportunity. We've had a master plan developed by Greg. He has prioritized what needs to be done. We need to fund it, and now's the time because who knows what's down the road. I'm talking about financially. Usually things don't go down, they go up. And so if we want to get the work done and we want to improve the course so it is more of a moneymaker, I think we need to go forward with this. And I have to say, as sort of one of the big gems of District 3, I definitely support it. And I know that the residents around me would as well. It's not just for golfers, I have to say. And a lot of the work that's going to be done here will benefit those who even don't play golf.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Further discussion? Okay, Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Hi. I just want to say that I hate to bond. I hate to bond. I hate to bond. But I went and had many conversations with Councilman Gully. He took me up and looked at the field, showed me different things. I'm not a golfer. I've gone through the park with my kids when they were younger. We sleigh rode in there, played in the water park over there. I'm not a golfer. I can't say whether it's a great thing or a bad thing. I can just say it's a revenue for us. If we're going to get a better deal by doing it all at once, I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. I just think that we have to look at this as a revenue. And I know Councilman Gully is very passionate about this. And I think if he's saying we should do it and I'm listening to him and he's showing me the reasons why, I think I'm going to go with him. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to say something. I didn't really view it as like a with or against Councilmember Gully. I'm kind of looking at the residents, the taxpayers, etc. But saying that, further discussion, questions on the
Chair, I wasn't taken as a with or against. I apologize. It wasn't my intent saying with or against.
Okay.
Council President?
Cummings.
Council President.
Yeah, Councilmember.
Go ahead. I think Zalewski is first. He hasn't spoken yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Councilmember Zalewski.
Yeah, I just, point of clarification. Is the amendment on the floor right now, or is this the original?
This is discussion on the amendment. We do have a motion. We do have a second. Councilmember Cummings seconded. We're discussing, but it kind of flowed to other things, which is fine.
So, I'm always torn on the golf course. I'm going to say this, back on my previous tenure on the city council, we invested $1 million into the golf course on the new sprinkler system. And it ended up, it was great to start, and then it ended up, I don't know what happened. I don't know the details of how the thing failed and everything, but it cost us a lot more money. And, I'm not convinced, at least right now, that the golf course is a moneymaker. I'd like to see some numbers to convince myself that, we should be investing heavily in the golf course. However, that being said, the amendment is certainly palatable to me because, it allows us to get started on the project, but proceed with caution because it is a lot of money. Look, I know Councilman Gully has said that most of us are not golfers, and I'm definitely not one either. But I certainly don't want to deprive people of the fun of golfing. I mean, I know that people are addicted to it and love it, and it's great that we have this amenity, inside in our city boundaries. But we've invested a lot of money into this golf course over time, and it feels like we keep doing it and hoping for a different outcome. And I don't know. I'm not convinced that allocating the full funding is going to get us where we need to be. I just don't know. My experience has been somewhat negative from the past, but again, I'm not playing on the golf course. I don't know what the experience. I've certainly gotten emails from golfers complaining about it and saying, oh, that it's all flooded out, we can't use it, and this particular hole is bad, this one's okay. But I don't have firsthand experience of it. But I appreciate the fact that Monica offered this amendment to kind of start moving forward, but not necessarily commit to going all the way. So I'll support the amendment for sure. I don't know if the amendment fails. I'm not sure. I guess I'd love to hear more conversation about the overall golf course and whether we should move forward with it. If the amendment fails, if we should move forward with the full plan. I'm kind of torn on it
Council
right
President.
Yep. Thank you, Councilmember Zaluski. Councilmember Cummings.
I guess the core question for this amendment, my understanding is what we're doing under this amendment is funding all of the work that's proposed for the next couple years. So there's ample time for this first phase of work that we've already funded to get underway. And then the next phase of work this fall to get underway, if everything goes to schedule. And you'll be able to see the results of the work that happens this spring over the summer. And then that will inform the next council's decision a year from now, if it's ready at that point. But I don't think this amendment delays any of the work that's proposed in the plan. And just to the point of interest rates and bonding, my assumption is they wouldn't actually issue the bonding until it's needed. So we pay the interest rates at that point, no matter what. And so I think that's where, it doesn't do any harm to postpone this, and it does enable a more informed, you get to see the work that is actually undertaken this spring before you commit to the laundry list of other improvements.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Cummings. I'd like to get to slow roll. If all are okay with that, we're going to move. Councilmember Gully on the amendment.
Through the conversation tonight, I believe that there's enough support to understand the value going forward. I will relate, I think the deputy mayor said that we lost approximately $255,000. If you multiply that by the next 10 years, you've got $2.55 million. If you do that by 20 years, you're up over 5 million. So that's additional to the money that we're making now. I'm just trying to stress that I know setting it up partially is like a safer move, but sometimes you don't know what the future brings, and we're not going to be here. We put our signature on this just like Greg Tudor did. And Councilman Zaluski, when you talk about that watering system, the irrigation system we put in, there was a whole different management system up there that really correlated that, and we got what we got. that has nothing to do with the talent, education, and professionalism that Greg Tudor shows that course on a daily basis. And I'll just say this, anytime you guy who's the boss, and he's out there working harder than the workers every day, cutting trees, pushing back pieces, picking up leaves. You got to respect the fact that he has a real passion and a care. And every day we talk about him putting his signature on the course. Well, he put his signature on that course. I think we need to put our signature on this golf course and make it the gem of the city. I'm going to vote no for the amendment. I'm going to vote yes for the full amount.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully, Councilmember Ash McPherson.
I'm going to vote no on the amendment.
Councilmember Steele,
No.
Councilmember Cummings,
Yes.
Councilmember Zaluski,
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott,
No.
Council President Mantello. I actually made the motion for the amendment. I have a couple quick things to say. Couple things. First and foremost, you can't control Mother Nature. So to use the 255 times it by 10, 2.5, it doesn't work that way. Believe me, I oversaw the canal. I saw how Mother Nature can crush your revenues. So when you look at revenues with the golf course, I honestly, the golf course is 1 year maybe going to make a little money. The next year, we're going to lose money. Mother Nature's unpredictable. You just cannot control Mother Nature. Myself, I golf and I frequent the golf course in terms of walking, in terms of walking dogs with my friends. So I kind of see the golf course as an indirect benefit and a direct benefit. Yes, we get money. Yes, it's a jewel. Yes, what Greg and Josh have done at the golf course, turned it around, 180, huge. But saying that, it's the indirect benefit in terms of the economic impact to our city, the economic impact to our surroundings, and obviously the recreational and quality of life impact. We've seen what Fair Park Conservancy has done with the trails. It's amazing. If you haven't been there, it is just truly amazing. So saying all of that, you know, I actually, though, when I take the whole picture, I support the amendment greatly because I've said from day one, and obviously, you know, I wouldn't sponsor the whole bond because of that. So I support the amendment. However, obviously the amendment is failing and that's unfortunate, but the amendment fails 4-3. On the original resolution is, we have a motion. We have a second, bear with me, 3.175 to finance the reconstruction and improvement of the golf course.
Council President,
Yes. Councilmember Gully?
I need to ask you a question.
Sure.
On this bond resolution, do we require 5 votes or 4?
The bond resolution you require 4. No.
5. All
5.
bonds require 5.
I'm sorry. Yes.
If I may, this is Finance Committee. I think it will pass finance in 4. It would need 5 in the full
5, the
council
full.
meeting.
That's correct. Yep. Thank you. So yes, finance for full 5. So saying that, original resolution 3.175, we have a motion, we have a second, the amendment failed. Slow roll, Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
Yes.
Councilmember Cummings,
No.
Councilmember Zaluski,
No.
Councilmember McDermott,
Yes.
Council President Mantello, no. The bond resolution passes. Finance will go to the full or to the special meeting tonight. Okay, bond resolution 106, bond resolution City of Troy authorizing the issuance of $2.4 million serial bonds to finance the cost of various projects for the fire department. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 106 carries 7-0. Resolution 107, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $480,000 serial bonds to finance the costs of various projects for the Department of Public Works. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution 107 carries 7-0. Resolution 108, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $700,000 serial bonds to finance the reconstruction of streets in the City of Troy. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, resolution 108 carries 7-0. Resolution 109, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $500,000 serial bonds to finance the police department building upgrades and improvements. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 109 carries 7-0. Resolution 110, bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $755,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of various projects for the garbage department. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion?
Council President.
Yes,
So
Councilmember.
since we're bonding for the garbage department, is this what's known as junk bonds? Thank you. Someone got it. Someone got it.
We needed a little levity.
Yes.
All right. Okay, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 110 carries 7-0. That completes our finance meeting. And it only took 3 hours and 11 minutes with about a 5-minute break. I will take a motion to adjourn. However, I do want to go right into the special. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, a third by Councilmember Gully. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mara, we're going right into the special. I'll let you get situated. You let me know when you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I just need 1 minute to shuffle some papers around over here.
Same here, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm good to go.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the special meeting for the folks hanging out this evening. You just saw government work at its best, and we're going to go right into the special. And I would ask Councilmember McDermott to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember McDermott. Mara, we'll do roll call.
Councilmember Gully,
Here.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Present.
Councilmember Steele,
Present.
Councilmember Cummings,
Present.
Councilmember Zaluski,
Here.
Councilmember McDermott.
Here.
Council President Mantello.
Still here.
7 present, none absent.
All right, the presentation of the agenda, pretty much what you just saw. Finance is on the special. So saying that, we're going to get right into it. Mara, public forum. I do know I had thought that Bob had signed up again for the special. Is he around?
He is not on. I think he told me he just had signed up for both. He didn't realize that the special was going to start so much later.
A little to see.
I think he's abandoned us.
Okay, all right, we'll get right into it. So no one has signed up for the public forum, local laws, none. All right, ordinance 101.
I think, do you want to do resolution 99 first?
I wasn't sure if we had to, we can, and I'd be very happy to do that. So let's do resolution 99.
Okay, resolution adopting the mayor's recommended budget for the city of Troy for fiscal year 2022, or adopting an amended budget for the city of Troy for fiscal year 2022. Councilmember Zaluski at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Cummings, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 99 passes, 4 ayes, 3 noes.
Okay, we are now going to jump to resolution 101.
Ordinance 101.
Ordinance. Sorry.
Yep, ordinance amending Code of Rules and Regulations of the Department of Public Utilities to establish new water and sewer rates. Councilmember Zaluski at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Ordinance 101 passes, 4 ayes, 3 noes.
Okay, ordinance 102.
Ordinance appropriating the various amounts as approved in the City of Troy budget for fiscal year 2022 and levying taxes on all taxable property within the City of Troy in the amount required to be raised by property taxes for the fiscal year 2022 budget. Councilmember Zaluski at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion, Councilmember Steele, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Zaluski, discussion?
Council President,
Yes,
I just want to be
Councilmember.
clear on 99. I should have asked this earlier, and on 102. This is as amended earlier.
Yes,
Yep.
Yes, correct.
correct. Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. Further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No,
Did Councilmember Gully vote?
he has not.
It's on 102?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
All right. Ordinance 102 passes, 4 ayes, 3 noes.
Resolution 100.
Resolution determining that the Riverwalk Trail construction project will not have a significant effect on the environment. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, Councilmember Cummings second, sorry, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 100 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 101.
Resolution determining that proposed actions are type 2 actions for the purposes of New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 101 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 102.
Resolution determining that proposed action is a type 2 action for the purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, who was that? Councilmember Cummings? No, Councilmember Gully. All right. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 102 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 103.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $3 million serial bonds to finance the Riverwalk Trail construction in the city. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember McDermott, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 103 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution.
President?
103. Oh, yes, Councilmember Cummings.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get a confirmation from Rick on the seeker resolutions we just passed. It's
Yeah.
just on the bonding, not on the project itself, right?
What? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. Councilman, what confirmation are you looking for?
Just the seeker resolutions that we just passed are just on the bonding itself, not the project. I mean, particularly the golf course, obviously,
Yes, those are
draining a
just the-
wetland could have an environmental impact.
No,
that
you're correct. That's a seeker resolution for the action of issuing a bond.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Cummings, good question. Further discussion, questions? All in favor?
No, we're introducing 104. I haven't introduced it yet.
Oh, okay, you went back.
He
Okay.
jumped in, but
Yep.
we already voted on 103 and now we're on 104. Bond
Yep.
resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of 7,250,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of the construction of the South Troy Industrial Roadway. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 104 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 105.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of an additional $3,175,000 serial bonds to finance the reconstruction and improvement of the golf course in the city. Councilmember Zaluski at the request of the administration.
I am going to make a motion, again, potentially to amend this bond resolution. And in all seriousness, I think we all want to see the golf course succeed. So I'm going to make a motion to reduce the bonding to phase 1, phase 2, 1.725. I think the number was or 1.75. So I'll put that motion on the floor again.
I'll second.
Okay, there is a motion and there is a second. Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion?
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Zalusky.
Yeah, so I was going to do the same thing that you did there. I would say that the finance vote, if we want to consider that to be a test vote, and we know that oh wait, Jim's,
He's laughing.
okay.
I apologize. I thought maybe my speak, I actually mimicked and said it was. You got to test the waters. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's not a fun test vote. Thank you.
So if we consider that to be a test vote, we know where things are at. It's nice to have another shot at the amendment. So I was going to propose that. I thank the council president for doing so, and I'll support the amendment.
Thanks, Councilmember Zalusky. Further discussion? We'll take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully. Mara, please, sorry.
On the amendment, Councilmember Gully.
Well, sometimes when you go fishing, you catch a big fish. Sometimes you catch the minnows. The finance meeting was a great test to see where we could go. I was hoping I could garner that fifth support, but obviously it's going to take a little work. But I applaud and appreciate the fact that you will keep this process going with the partial amendment. And based on the vote in the finance meeting, I will support the amendment.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Yes.
Councilmember Steele.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Yes.
Councilmember Zalusky.
Aye.
Councilmember McDermott.
Yes.
Council President Mantello.
Aye.
Amendment passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Okay,
I
resolution.
wish we could hear Monica. It seems like she's celebrating.
Oh, I said a thank you.
Great.
Really, and I, to be honest with you, I really want to echo Councilman Gully's words. You know, what Greg and his team have done on this without, and I'm going to echo your words back, without adding a lot of staff to his team. But he has garnered amazing work from his team. And we want to make sure that he continues that trek and create this treasure, which he is. And he's working in partnership with the conservatory and, and taking care of the playgrounds and all the stuff that he doesn't necessarily need to do, but I asked him to take on when he was hired. And his team and himself have done it graciously. And I just want to make sure we honor him and their work to this as well.
Awesome. Very well put. Okay. We are moving along to resolution 106. They keep
We need,
introducing.
resolution 105, you need to vote on the full resolution.
Yes, we do. The amended resolution. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion on the amended resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Resolution 105 passes 6 ayes, 1 no.
Resolution 106.
Give me 1 minute.
No problem.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $2,400,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of various projects for the fire department. Council President Mantello has requested the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Sorry.
Councilmember Gully. That's okay. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 106 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
And last, oh no, it isn't last. Sorry, my page broke. Resolution 107.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $480,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of various projects for the Department of Public Works. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zalusky. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele. Beat you to the punch. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 107 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 108.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $700,000 serial bonds to finance the reconstruction of streets in the city. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 108 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Resolution 109.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $500,000 serial bonds to finance the police department building upgrades and improvements. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 109 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
Now, the final resolution, Resolution 110.
Bond resolution of the City of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of $755,000 serial bonds to finance the cost of various projects for the garbage department. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 110 passes 7 ayes, 0 noes.
This could be a record 3.5 hours for finance and special on budget night. I just want to thank those thousands of folks out there who have stayed with us all throughout this, very transparent and open government here in the city of Troy. But saying that, I really want to thank our council colleagues and the admin and the mayor and everyone. And I hope you all have a good night. Thank you, Mara. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Councilmember Zaluski, is there a second? Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See you Thursday, don't forget.
Yeah, Thursday. See you Thursday.
I would just say this is the best budget I've ever been in